has recently opened, making its bid for culinary stardom. The Happy Gizzard. The Happy Gizzard.
Dinner time! Come and get it! Dad, Ellie Mae, Jethro, Vittles is ready. The day is just cold. I'm going to get hot. Where's Jethro? He's late for Vittles.
Don't blow your flue, Granny. He's out trying to scare up some business.
You couldn't scare anybody into this place with a brace of shotguns.
Mr. Drysdale said it takes a little while for a restaurant to get popular.
Popular? I just wish you'd get his first customer.
Shouldn't be too much longer now. He's been open a week.
Maybe you should have set him up in some other kind of business, Jed.
Boy chose this one. Of course, maybe I shouldn't have asked him just before mealtime.
Well, I'm sure tired of cooking up a couple of tons of stuff on this menu and having no customers to eat it.
Howdy. Is lunch ready?
Yep, sit down.
That's a good thing about having a restaurant. You get to eat out a lot. What do we have?
The soup of the day for yesterday. 20 gallons of catfish and apricot gumbo.
Dog. I'm almost glad we ain't doing no business.
All right. You find out why.
Yeah. And it's so exciting, I can't even wait to finish eating to tell you.
What is it?
I said I can't wait to finish eating. I can't wait till I get started.
I can't. Start talking.
All right. You see, I've been driving around checking out the other restaurants. And the ones with the people lined up outside is all advertising the same thing.
What is it?
Topless waitresses.
What's a topless waitress?
You mean you don't know?
No, me neither.
You do, don't you, Uncle Jed?
Nope.
Well, if that don't sound like a bunch of backcountry apple knockers talking. Living here in Beverly Hills all this time, and you ain't even sophisticated enough to know what a topless waitress is?
Well, Mr. Hot Shop Man around town, what are they?
Well, I ain't sure. None of the places have let me in. Now, quit that, Ellie. They must have figured I was a competition. It's a good thing I got an education, sophistication, and savoir-faire to figure it out.
All right. What's a topless waitress?
There's only one thing it could be. As anybody knows that's been around as much as me, that all them waitresses wears them silly little hats. Now, the way I got it figured, all the waitresses that work in these topless places don't wear anything on their head. No hats or nets or nothing. How? Because they look better. See? Even Ellie looks almost pretty. I can hardly wait to get over and tell Mr. Drysdale I ain't even going to take the time to eat.
Do you think we ought to give this topless business a try, Jed?
Might as well. No telling what city folks like. Sure can't lose him no customers.
All right. I think we're ready to receive our potential new depositors now.
Welcome, beloved Mr. and Mrs. Vanderpont.
I wish you would start thinking about Jethro and forget the Vanderplants for a moment.
Forget a possible $20 million account. It's no clamping fortune, but it's not exactly petty cash either.
But what about Jethro? Trying to make a go of that dilapidated diner you saddled him with.
Don't blame me. He wanted a business of his own. All I did was give it to him.
Oh, you gave him the business, all right. After what you've done, I don't know how you managed to get to sleep at night.
Very simple. I count money. The difference between renting that diner for Jethro at $35 a month or buying a restaurant for $200,000 like Mr. Clampton wanted to do.
Good old Mr. Drysdale. Heart of solid gold. Cold and hard.
Mr. Vanderpont? Mrs. Vanderpont? Gee, oh, they're here. Hail, Mr. and Mrs. Vanderpont. My bank is yours. Where's the Vanderponts?
They're not here yet.
You mean I just blew $2 with a rose petal?
I must talk to you about Jethro.
You'll have to wait. I have other fish to fry. And here they are now, Mr. and Mrs. Vanderpont. Come in, you lovely people.
Mr. Drysdale, I'll get right to the point. We are looking for a financial institution whose clientele is of the very highest social caliber. Leaders of society, aristocracy, etc.
You have found it. Champagne Countess Hathaway.
When our money talks, we want it speaking to only the best people.
This is a bank for you. Oh, I wish you could meet some of our distinguished depositors.
I've heard that, but my Uncle Jed ain't here. Will I do?
Yeah,
Yeah, I just got here. I knew you'd want to hear the good news. Our restaurant, the Happy Gizzard, is going topless. Well, I know why y'all are staring. Forgot to introduce myself. My name's Jethro Bodine. Father Jed's the biggest depositor in the bank. Ain't he, Mr. Drysdale?
Thank you, Mr. Drysdale. You certainly do have an exclusive clientele. There can't be many more in Beverly Hills like that.
Well, thank you. I didn't get your name. I'd sure like to have you stop by my restaurant sometime.
Jethro, I can hardly believe my ears. Does your Uncle Jed know about this topless business?
Sure. He says it's all the same to him, but the waitresses don't care.
You'd better talk to Mr. Drysdale.
I better come back later. He ain't feeling well.
Yes, he probably is a little sick now.
He must have a thunderclap or a headache. He's got ice pack on his head.
$20 million account gone. A topless restaurant on my hand. This could drive a man to philanthropy.
I just thought of a new dish that might bring customers in here. I'll take my owl burgers, add a little pickled Rudy Bakers, and call them Rudy Burgers.
Oh, Granny! Boy, this topless sign worked in half. The minute I got out to the road, it stored a bigger fuss than a firecracker in a hen house.
What happened?
Well, the cars in the truck started jamming on their brakes, and folks started whistling. I run back here before they all smashed into one another.
Oh, Scooby-Doo, there you are, you cute little tomato. I blew a head gasket over you.
Don't you get fresh with me, a big wolf.
Granny, you're making a mistake.
No, I ain't. I know his type, spouting all that love poetry, dress fit to kill.
Excuse Granny, mister. She's kind of excited about tonight. Can I offer you some refreshments on the house?
Oh, all right, I'll have some jolly.
Son, we ain't got none of that. How about a cup of coffee instead?
Well, let's forget it, huh? I gotta be going anyways. It's just that I saw Blondie there with that sign. Tell me, is this really a topless place?
It will be tonight.
Oh, great. I gotta make the midnight run to Fresno. How about saving me that stool for around 11 o'clock, huh?
All right. And maybe by that time we'll find a Java to cook for you.
Well, it's not the food I'm interested in as much as the service. The waitresses, if you get what I mean.
I sure do. And you're in luck. At 11, Granny has a duty.
That little old lady.
We're all pitching in to help my nephew. He's having a little trouble making a go of this place. That's the reason we're trying a topless waitress.
Well, let me give you a little tip. You'd better have somebody ready to replace Grandma there.
Yes, we do.
Oh, good.
If she gets tired, I'm taking over.
Well, lots of luck. And if sheer courage can do it, you got it made. Otherwise, you're in big trouble.
What did he tear out of here like that for?
I don't know. He said he had a midnight run to Fresno. Could be he wants to get his legs warmed up.
It was that rascal trying to get out of here without paying his bill. His truck partner killed me.
Oh, did you tell Mr. Drysdale about the topless?
Oh, yeah. He got so excited, he got a log splitter of a headache.
My folks just can't take good news.
I'll give you some medicine to take over to him, Jed. I'd go myself, but I can't leave my post here.
What are you giving him?
Some of my surefire headache remedy.
Hey, that is rheumatism medicine. Corn squeezing.
Well, if you drink enough, it'll stop your headache.
If you drink enough, it'll stop your breathing.
Well, it's even safe for city folks if they follow the prescription.
What prescription?
3 fingers of remedy in a glass, add water, ice cubes, twist the lemon, and sip your head off.
My dear Mr. and Mrs. Vanderport, you can't know how happy I am that you've reconsidered.
How could we refuse when you threw yourself right in front of our car in the middle of Sunset Boulevard?
Well, actually, that was one of my clerks. But it was my hand that pushed him.
Really?
But he's being rewarded. I'm letting him go home early tonight.
In any case, I suppose we should meet Mr. Clapp at your largest depositor. Before we eliminate your bank as a possibility.
Oh, thank you. Oh, do let me take care of your money for you. I'll treat it as my very own. I'll take it out every day and play with it. We'll take long walks together. I'll be more than just its banker. I'll be its pal.
And I must say, your love for money borders on the psychotic.
Thank you, gracious lady.
Here, we're late for an appointment at the Merchant's Bank. We'll let you know which bank we choose, Mr. Drysdale.
Have dinner with me tonight before you make a decision.
All right, if you release my wrist. You're bending my bracelet. Perhaps then we can meet Mr. Clampett.
Well, I think he might be in Europe. But take my word for it, he's not like his nephew. But Jethro's a bit... all that inbreeding. Royalty, you know.
See?
But Mr. Clampett, he's every inch a multimillionaire. Tall, broad-shouldered, silver-haired, with just a trace of an accent.
Honey, I bring you a headache remedy.
There's something I forgot to mention. Jed Clampett is also a world-famous physician. Eccentric, but a fantastically brilliant doctor.
I must talk to him. I've been to 100 specialists seeking a cure for my migraines.
How are you, Mr. Drysdale? I hear you're feeling lower than a well-digger's heel.
Oh, how good of you to come, and all the way from Europe. Huh? But I'm feeling wonderful now.
Oh, well, good. Then I won't bother to leave this headache remedy.
Oh, I want you to meet Mr. and Mrs. Vanderpont.
Well, howdy.
How do you do?
How are you?
Well, now that you ask, I've got a little pain right here. And I haven't been sleeping well, and my liver is not what it should be. Then, too, I've always been bothered with migraines.
Well, it's a pleasure to know you so well, so soon.
Well, as long as Mr. Drysdale doesn't need it, do you mind if I take along your headache remedy?
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Clampett. We'll see you at 7:30, Mr. Drysdale.
Oh, but man, I ain't no doc. Be sure and follow directions on the...
I want to thank you again, Miss Jane, for coming over and clearing us up on that topless business.
Thanks, Miss Jane.
Now, you'll tell Ellie right away, won't you?
Oh, I'll tell her as soon as I can. She ought to be ready to hear it in about 3 or 4 years.
I can't understand how come my giant brain come up with the wrong answer.
That's all right, darling.
Even computers make mistakes.
Yeah, geniuses, too. Thomas Edison goofed a few times before he invented the airplane.
So Thomas Edison made the first light bulb.
See? That's what I mean about goofing. Imagine coming up with a light bulb when he's trying for an airplane.
But now we must think of a new way to make the Happy Gizzard a success. For example, I definitely feel we should change the name.
You're right. It ought to be something that makes you hungry the minute you hear it. Like the boiled mule.
The Happy Gizzard isn't bad.
What one of the problems is, the food we serve it.
What?
Granny Jethro was referring to the menu. After all, Beverly Hills is a very cosmopolitan city. And look at this. Southern fried muskrat. Stuffed groundhog. Corned beaver and cabbage.
That's right, Miss Jane. You see, in a city this size, well, you can get victuals like that at almost any restaurant in town. What my place needs is something different. Like, making it French-like. Hey, I'm serving fancy French food, like French fries and tacos and chop suey.
You should do some research first.
Oh, I intend to.
Well, good. And remember, Romanovs wasn't built in a day.
Thanks, Granny, for not being mad at me for that topless waitress notion. Just something to laugh at now, ain't it? Yeah. What are you doing with the skillet? Cook me some vittles? You ain't laughing, Granny. Granny!
You hear that funny clang, kind of faint like?
No?
I reckon I better skedaddle back to the restaurant.
Well, I'm sure everything will be all right.
Too bad about Jethro. He was all a tingle over the grand opening tonight.
I wish there was something I could do.
Well, there is. You can bring the missus and come over to the restaurant for supper.
Oh, that's impossible. Margaret's in Boston, and besides, I'm taking the Vanderpunts to dinner tonight. It means a big new account for the bank.
Well, I understand. Got to do it up brown, huh?
Yes, sir.
Oh, bring him along.
What?
We'll kill him with kindness. Put on a big spread.
Mr. Clampett, you don't mean...
No trouble. The place ain't exactly swamped with customers, you know.
I can't. The Vanderpunts...
Well, I'd consider it a big favor on my account if you would.
Your account, yes, but.
Now, don't race your engine. Jethro will be pleasured no end. Now, don't disappoint us. Granny's cooking up something special.
Yeah, my goose.
Okay, everybody, get ready. Mr. Drysdale's limousine just pulled in. Now, remember, Uncle Chet, you promised to let me handle this all by myself.
I'll wait out back. You holler if you need me.
I know what to do. Heck, practically every movie I've seen had a French restaurant in it.
You remember that these Vanderpont folks is very important to Mr. Drysdale. I want them sure to evening they won't forget.
Don't worry. That Mrs. Vanderpont is crazy about yours truly. Heck, just finding me here will be a big thrill to her.
I'm all ready, Jethro.
Good. Now, remember your French accent. Chef Pierre, are you ready?
Jethro, I've decided I ain't gonna be no man.
Oh, come on, Granny. They'll be here any minute. All French restaurants has got men chefs.
I told you I'd do the cooking, and I did. Wearing a mustache is something else. Besides, it's getting all soggy. Fell into the soup kettle twice already.
Please, Granny, just for tonight.
Well,
All right, now you just get out of sight till I introduce you.
Oh, it's here again! I'm smelling sauce.
I told you, she's just overpowering fond of me. Welcome to the Happy Gizzard. How do you like my accent?
It's atrocious.
No, it's French.
Say hi to the Coach.
Can't you see they ain't wearing none, you dumb old girl?
You're gonna talk that way, I quit.
Come on, Jethro, get this over with. See us. Well, what is the name, please?
Drysdale.
Let me see. How do you spell that?
After the night, M-U-D.
Wait. Here it is. The best table in the house.
Oh, let go of me. Oh, I feel faint.
Just my hand on your arm done it to you, huh? You are tough with me.
Oh, you ludicrous buffoon.
Well, I'm right fond of you, too. But enough of this flattery. I want you to meet the chef that's responsible for the taste treat that's in store for you tonight. Doggone, I forgot my French accent. It is my pleasure to present the greatest French cook in the whole world, Chef Pierre. Chef Pierre. Granny!
quit your hollering.
What's that you got on your lip?
The mustache.
What happened to the one that I gave you?
Told you it was all soup-soaked. The dog out back snatched it out of my hands and run off with it.
That looks like part of a vegetable brush.
That's what it is.
Oh, Granny.
I got a whole meal cooked for them folks. Better not let them out of here before they eat it.
Hey, wait. You can't leave yet. Hey, Granny's been cooking all afternoon. Hey, take a look at the menu I planned for you.
Well, vichyssoise, boeuf bourgogne, pomme gratin, crepe Suzette. We ought to try it. Granny's an excellent cook.
Well, I am starving.
Here it is, digging.
But this isn't boeuf bourgogne and pomme au gratin. It's
Grits and hog job.
Grits and hog joust? Granny, you said you was going to cook French food.
This is better. I ain't serving company things like snails and frog legs.
I'm getting out of here.
Sit down, Pearly May. I'm having seconds.
George, how many times have I told you never to talk in public?
Too many. Now hush your face. I ain't stunk my choppers and grits and jowls as good as 3 left sorghum ribs.
You mountain folks?
Darn tootin'. We live so far back in the hills, the sun set betwixt our place and town.
You're supposed to be leaders of society.
Yeah, once I got filthy rich with uranium, Pearly May started to talking fancy, getting a high-tone notion. I think what done it was putting on her first pair of shoes. Well, Mrs. Vanderpont.
Vanderpont sure had me fooled. Just a couple of hill folks like us.
They ain't hill folks. They lived in the Gulf.
Granny, don't be such a snob.
Oh, shucks, I don't care. I was just glad that Jethro got some paying customers. At least now he's in the restaurant business.
Hey, guess what? I'm out of the restaurant business.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, Mr. Vanderport made me an offer on a Happy Gizzard. Said he always wanted to meet a place like mine.
How much?
Well, $1,000 if Granny does the cooking. $100 if she don't.
I hope I know what you answered him.
Now, there's only one thing the boy could have said.
That's right. You better get stumping, Granny. Just late for work.
Ellie Mae, how many times do I have to tell you I don't like varmints in my kitchen?
Oh, Granny, this little critter's feeling poorly.
Of course he's feeling poorly. He's 2 months behind in his sleeping.
What you mean?
Bears is supposed to curl up and snooze all winter. But in this crazy California, it's summer all winter.
Poor little mixed-up fella.
Here it is January, and look outside. What do you see? The sun is shining, the birds are singing, the flowers is blooming. It's enough to make a body sick.
Sure don't have no seasons here.
Just two, wet and dry. You've either got mud or dust.
New calendar for you, Granny.
Is that all I got?
Yes, ma'am. All the rest of the mail's for me.
What is it, Granny?
The First National Bank of Bugtussle. Fred James, president. That's Jesse's grandson.
Jesse James's grandson was president of a bank?
Yeah. It's a good thing Jesse never lived to see that. Ellie, look at this beautiful snow.
Sure is pretty. There ain't nothing prettier than them big white flakes a-floating down.
I used to say that was Mother Goose shaking out her feather bed.
Remember how the windows used to get all icy?
That was Jack Frost painting his pictures. They's a great pair, Jack Frost and Mother Goose.
And remember how we used to scoop up a pan of snow and put vanilla and sugar in it and make ice cream?
Oh, Ellie Mae, you're making me so homesick, I can't stand it.
What's everybody doing inside on a beautiful day like this?
You call this beautiful?
Look out there. Sun is shining, the birds are singing, flowers are blooming.
Please, Jed, you're turning my stomach.
How'd you like to be back home with all that snow and ice?
How soon can we leave?
You mean you want to be back there?
We all do. We was just sitting here talking about how much we'd all like to go back home to the snow. Ain't that right, young'uns?
Yes, sir, Granny.
Ain't that right, Jethro?
Huh? What?
When are you going to learn to pay attention? He's having a family talk.
What about?
About how much we'd all like to go back home to the snow.
Not me.
Who asked you?
You said...
Now, stop butting in when you ain't needed. He wants to go, Jed.
No, I don't, Uncle Jed. Look at all these business opportunities that come in the mail. I'm going to be rich in no time.
What is all this, boy?
Offers for jobs. I can sell blueing house to house. Or open a worm farm. There's a fortune to be made in red wigglers. And here's another. Grow mushrooms in your own basement. Here's an offer to be a Western distributor for an Eastern buggy whip company.
Jethro, get this clutter out of my kitchen. This table is for victuals.
Good. How soon do we eat?
I may never eat again. This California weather has took my appetite.
Well, it ain't took mine. I'm starving.
Jed,
But, Granny...
go eat some smog.
You may have just solved one of the biggest problems out here, Granny. If he can trap that stuff on a plate, he might just get rid of it.
No mood for a joke, Jed. I'm homesick for snow so bad that I could jump in a hole and pull the hole in after.
What is all this sudden hankering you got for snow? You used to hate it.
Me?
Why, the first little frost you used to say it was so cold the wolves was eating the sheep just for the wool.
I never said that. This sun out here has fried your brain, just like it's ruined my beautiful hair.
The sun ruined it?
Bleached it gray. Why, back home it was as black as a raven's wing. Washed in snow water kept it soft as milkweed.
Granny, you melted snow to wash your hair because that's the only way you could get water. The well was froze, the trough, the pond, the creek, everything. Why, you even melted snow to wash the clothes.
And they came out so purty.
Yeah, and froze so stiff you had to carry them in like cordwood.
That was wonderful. Didn't even have to starch 'em.
All right, I give up. If you say you love snow, you love snow. Nothing'll do but what you gotta go back and get your toes frostbitten. Oh, Mr. Drydale? This is Judge Clampett.
Oh, yes, Mr. Clampett. What can I do for you?
Well, nothing for me, thank you, but Granny'd like to go back home to the hill. Well, seems she got this calendar from the First National Bank of Bug Tussle, and, hello? Hello? Mr. Drysdale? You still there?
Yes, I'm still here. Let me talk to Granny. Listen, Granny, you don't want to go home now. It's probably snowing back there. But just look out the window. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, the flowers are blooming.
I can't stand it another day. I've got to have snow. Now you get me back home.
Listen to reason. For the last time, I'm telling you this crazy scheme will never work.
Will you swear to that?
This crazy scheme will never work.
No, I mean swear that this is the last time you'll tell me. Now, just remember, this tape recorder is a radio. And while Granny's listening to the special weather report, you turn the air conditioning system down as low as it'll go.
They'll freeze tonight.
What do you expect with 3 feet of snow?
Well, come in. Come in.
Thank you, Granny.
Did you bring my tickets to Bug Tussle?
Yes, Granny, but I hope you're packed. You'll have to leave within 15 minutes.
How come?
All travel has been canceled because of the big blizzard.
What blizzard?
You mean you haven't heard? Oh, of course not. I forgot. You don't have a shortwave radio. You see, news about emergencies is always broadcast on a special wavelength so the population doesn't panic. Now, just a few civic leaders have these. Mayors, councilmen, bank presidents.
Oh.
Miss Hathaway, will you turn the furnace control up as high as it can go? We don't want the Clampers to freeze in their sleep tonight.
Freeze? In Beverly Hills?
Quickly.
Attention, all civic leaders. Repeating the special weather bulletin. A blizzard is moving into Beverly Hills. 3 feet of snow is predicted with drifts reaching as high as 6 to 8 feet.
We're gonna be snowbound.
The storm is expected to center around Crestview Drive.
That's our street.
If you live in that area, do not leave your homes. Hungry wolves have been seen coming down out of the hills.
That's a sure sign of a blizzard.
All set, Chief.
Good. Let's get out of here before the snow starts and the wolves pin us down.
Yeah, and hurry. Thank you for the warning, Mr. Civic Leader.
Oh, I probably saved your life.
What's the matter, Miss Jane?
Well, the cold weather always aggravates her rheumatism.
Oh, I'll fetch him a jug.
No thanks, Granny. We barely have time to make it to the rent-a-sled agency.
Excuse me, Chief. Mr. Chapman's calling from the movie studio. He wants to talk to you before you send those snow machines up to the Clampett mansion.
Okay.
Chief, before you take this last crazy step in this mad scheme of yours, will you stop and think what can happen if something goes wrong?
That's your problem.
Why mine?
Because if it goes wrong, I'll blame the whole thing on you. Hello, Larry. Yes, of course I want the best quality snow. This is Beverly Hills. 3 feet will cost how much? No, look, I want plastic, not platinum. All right, make it 3 inches. Yeah. Now, we'll keep them inside the house with wind machines and wolves. Yes, I want a wolf outside every door. No, Larry, not your nephew. I want the kind of wolf with big teeth, pointy ears, long hair. Larry, I don't care if he does still qualify. I want the kind of wolf that howls. Larry, 4-footed wolves. Now, you get up there after dark because the Clampett's go to bed early. All right, goodbye. Now, you did set the air conditioning up as cold as it will go?
Yes, and I hate myself for doing it. They don't even know they've got air conditioning. They'll freeze tonight.
No, they won't. At the crucial moment, we will mush to their rescue.
Me? Mush?
Don't you want to share in the glory?
No.
You want me to fight the wind and snow alone?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do it. All you have to do is fight the wolves.
Wait for me, Pop.
Can't you sleep neither, Ellie?
No, sir. My room is like an ice block.
Mine, too. I wonder, can we turn the furnace up any hotter?
I don't think so. When I was putting my critters down in the cellar, Them big old machines was just going full blast.
Gotta give Granny credit. She sure called a turn on this weather.
Of course I did. I know this cold spell was coming. I seen all the signs.
Wish you'd said something sooner, Granny. Jethro and me could have laid in a little firewood.
Well, I'll go fetch some.
No, Ellie. A hungry wolf will get you.
Granny, there ain't no wolves in Beverly.
That ain't no whippoorwill.
That doggies there's a wolf out there. Big rascal, too.
They always come down out of the hills when the cold wind blows.
There ain't no cold wind a-blowing.
What you call that?
That ain't no whippoorwill.
Just know everything.
You sure hit this blizzard on the nose.
Well, that ain't where it's hitting me. Let's get to the kitchen.
Yeah, let's warm up some of that possum stew we had for supper.
Oh, I got lots of victuals, Sid. I got ham and turkey and pork chops.
I'll go wake Jethro.
Oh, he's up, Ellie. Come through here about 15 or 20 minutes ago, headed for the kitchen. Uh-oh.
Quick, maybe we can salvage something.
It's too late. He's already asleep in it all.
Buzzard boy has struck.
He didn't even leave no gristle. A locust would starve around that boy.
What's that on his mouth?
He's at the fingers out of his gloves.
And we's gonna be snowbound with him?
You better sleep in a circle like partridges. That way nobody will have their back to him.
Here. Only thing you didn't get was a little old sausage.
Must have left it for seed.
I want to try something. I knowed it. I always knowed it. He eats in his sleep.
His stomach might doze off, but that's a 24-hour mouth. Ed Trampet speaking. Oh, hello, Mr. Drysdale. Well, he ain't doing so good. Jethro's had all the victuals, and with him inside and the wolves outside, we is twixt a rock and a hard place. Well, that's mighty brave of you, but all right. I sure do thank you. Mr. Drysdale says he's fetching over some victuals and nothing can stop him.
Mush! On King! On Pierre! On White Band!
What's that, Muglock? You crack that whip one more time, and I am going to give you a neckful of white fangs.
Always one complainer in the pack. You're wearing 3 layers of fur.
That's another thing. It's 85 degrees out here.
Wait till we get inside. It should be down to 30 in there.
Now, don't forget our deal.
You have my word. You help me put this over, and you'll be rolling in dough.
Chief, there's a wolf.
Oh, relax. Stop.
But I see others out there.
They're all stopped.
What about the house?
Sound effect record. Okay, boys, start the wind machine. Now, you go inside and tell the Clampets I'm fighting a rear guard action against the wolves. I'll make my entrance in a minute.
I brought you supplies, Granny.
Where's Mr. Drysdale?
He's not fighting off the wolf pack.
There's a bunch of them out there, all right. When that door opened, I could feel their hot breath.
Hey, woman, Miss Jean, where's Mr. Drysdale?
Fighting off the wolves.
I'll go help him. Have no fear. Milburn of the Mounties is here.
There you are, Granny. Everything you'll need to get you through the blizzard. There's canned meat, powdered milk, chocolate bars.
Melbourne of the Mounties, you have saved our lives.
Well, don't forget my faithful Indian companion, White Fang.
I I didn't know you was an Indian.
Yes, I am temporarily a member of the famous northern tribe that always helps the Mounties.
Yes. She's a schnook.
That's Chinook.
Can I put these in the fireplace?
Oh, yes, of course.
We's out of firewood, and I've never been so cold in my whole life.
Now, don't worry, Granny. By tomorrow morning, the blizzard will be over.
Good. These Beverly Hills winters is short, but days killers.
Just how do you plan to get rid of the plastic snow?
The studio has machines for that.
I hope they send a snowplow in the morning so we can get out of here.
Oh, no, Granny. Snowplows are for peasants. Here in Beverly Hills, they vacuum the snow.
Wouldn't you know it?
Now, you turn in and leave everything to us.
Yes, Mr. Clamp, it's already gone up to bed.
No, ma'am, Miss Jane. I just went up to get into my clothes so I could fetch in some firewood.
No, Jed. Have you forgotten about the hungry wolves out there?
Well, I figure if these two city folks got past them, I sure can.
But, you see, we got through because wolves are frightened of Indians.
Indians?
Yeah, Jed. It turns out that Miss Jane is a schnook.
That's Chinook.
Well, anyway, I wouldn't risk going outside. Those wolves are vicious. They'll tear you to pieces. Oh, no.
Hi, everybody. Look here. Ellie, don't bring that man-eating varmint in here. He's vicious. He'll tear us to pieces. No, he won't, Granny. I've been watching him. He ain't moved for better than an hour. Felt sorry for him, so I fetched him in.
Shall I warm up the getaway sled?
No wonder he ain't moved. It's so cold, the poor devil froze stiff in mid-howl.
You think he's froze?
Of course. Look at them glassy eyes.
You're right, Granny, but we sure can't let him thaw out in here. I'll get rid of him.
Mr. Drysdale, let me take a look at that critter. Hey, this wolf is stuffed.
With who? Who ain't here? Jethro! He done it, my baby!
Don't worry, Mr. Clammer. He didn't eat Jethro.
Mr. Drysdale, what's going on around here?
What do you mean?
Stuffed critters, snow that don't melt.
That's wolf dandruff. It's very contagious. I think I'll get rid of him.
Mr. Drysdale, you want to tell me?
Well, I might as well admit it. This whole visit's a phony. The snow is plastic, the wolf's stuffed, the wind comes from a machine. The whole thing was dreamed up to keep Granny from going back to the hills, and it's my fault.
Gee.
I never should have let her talk me into it.
You mean, this whole thing was Miss Jane's idea?
100%. She dreamed up the whole idea.
Jane? That's about the nicest thing I ever heard tell of.
Huh?
Going to all that trouble just to make Granny happy. Thank you.
Now, wait a minute. It wasn't all her idea.
Oh, that's true, Mr. Clapp. It was his idea to turn the air conditioning down so it would be cold in the house.
The only part I didn't like.
Welcome to the tribe, Schnook.
That's Chinook.
The problem now is to keep Granny from finding out she's been fooled.
Well, one thing is sure, we can't let her go outside. It's 85 out there.
I think I got it. Mr. Drysdale, you lay down on a sofa.
What?
If there's anything to keep Granny in the house, it's somebody needing her doctrine.
Where you been, Jethro?
Huh?
I say, where you been?
I'm getting me some snow. I'm gonna have me some snow ice cream.
Oh, it's so cold the wolves is freezing. Now you get to bed. You're burning up with a fever.
That ain't fever. It's hot outside.
The thaw has set in. I'd best quick get me a pan of snow to wash my hair. How is it, Jethro?
Pretty good. That ain't very cold, but it's got more body than snow back home.
Let me taste it.
No, you go get your own snow.
I'll bring you some, Ellie.
Wait a minute, Granny, where are you going?
Out to get some snow to melt from my hair.
I'll do that. You better take care of Mr. Drysdale. He's laying in the parlor awful sick.
What seems to be the trouble?
Oh, sore throat, fever. He needs you bad.
Poor man, he got that from helping us. I'll need this, Jethro.
What for?
Snow ice cream is the best thing in the world for fever and sore throat. How's that, Mr. Drysdale?
Kind of chewy, but not bad. What is it?
That's snow ice cream.
Snow ice cream? You mean the kind that's falling outside?
That's right. Nice and fresh. Swallow it, Mr. Drysdale.
Let's get out of here!
Wait! I'll make you some more. Just bring it in another pan. I never did see snow ice cream work so fast.
Quick, grab those traces and get me to a hospital.
Just a minute, Chief. When do I start rolling in dough?
The first thing tomorrow morning.
Is that a promise?
You'll be knee-deep in the stuff. I repossessed a bakery.
Oh, that Charlie. Push! On Pierre! On King! On Doughboy! Push!
Watch it, white fang!
A blizzard sure brings out the brotherhood in man. What a sight. A royal mountie pulling a schnook.
Here's Granny's rocking chair and harp.
Whoa, put him on the porch, Jethro. LMA, still looks like there's something missing.
Well, is it the pigs?
Yeah, that's it. Granny won't feel at home without them.
Well, Uncle Fetch.
Looks just like back in the hills, don't it?
Pretty close. Sure hope it takes some of the spite out of Granny.
She's been on her ear in the setting hen all day. You open your mouth and she snaps your head off.
Yeah, she gets that way about once a year. I call it the midwinter feisties.
It's a funny thing about sitting and rocking and playing on the harp and singing. It generally cheers her up.
Yeah, like the poet says, music hath charm to soothe the savage beast.
Kids, Hillbillies, Jethro.
Over here by the cement pond, Granny.
We got things done just in time.
That's a fact.
So here you are. I've been looking all over the house for you. Who done that?
We all did, Granny.
Especially for you.
How come?
Because you've been sort of cranky.
Cranky? Me? I ain't never cranky.
Using the harp right now.
How dare you? Why, I am the sweetest, kindest, most lovable, even-tempered, love-suffering.
Don't hit him no more. I think you got him convinced you're lovable.
I sure hope she never turns mean.
Sit on the porch and rock a spell.
And play your harp.
Yeah, that generally cools your temper.
What temper?
But even Uncle Jed says you's a savage beast.
Help me, boy. We thought having the old cabin up would please you.
You're not fooling me. I know why you put the cabin up. To get me out of the house, you want to get rid of me. Why don't you just shoot me like an old horse and sell my body for glue?
Granny, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, you would make enough glue to put on a postage stamp.
Don't help me, boy.
All right. If nothing pleases you but that I cross over Jordan, so be it.
Granny, we don't want that at all.
Why'd you put my harp up here? All right. I'm on my way to Beulah Land. First, let me make my peace with the Lord. Oh, when the saints come marching in, oh, when the saints come marching in, I wanna be in their number. When the saints come marching in, oh, when the saints come marching in, oh, when the saints come marching in, I wanna be in their number. When the saints come marching in. Shut up! My sister Drysdale, how would you like to join me in a chorus?
How would you like me to call the police?
Well, if you know a couple that can harmonize, get them over here.
Granny,
For years, I've done my best to make this the most beautiful and exclusive neighborhood in Beverly Hills. And you come up with this.
Glad to help you, honey.
You're a scourge and a pestilence and an abomination.
Sister Drysdale, maybe I'm a little oversensitive, but I get a feeling that you ain't altogether pleased.
Pleased? I'm inconsolable.
Oh, good. I was worried.
Oh, what for you? I'm going to give you an ultimatum.
Well, that's real neighborly of you, but I ain't got nothing ready to give you. Here, take my turn.
That's what I think of all this debris, you loutish hillbilly.
Now I got something ready to give you. A couple of them. This and this.
Milburn! Look at me!
Now, don't get mad, honey. But you don't look much better than you did when you left.
Milburn, you tried. I've been brutally beaten and my hair nearly torn out of my scalp.
I've always told you those beauty shop boys hate women. I even left a little mud pack on your face.
This outrage was perpetrated by that homicidal hillbilly next door. Granny!
You mean Granny did this to you?
Yes. I went over there to complain about that squalid shack they put up. And she assaulted me.
Yeah, she sure did.
Aren't you going to call the police?
Now, not this time. But if you bother the Clampetts once more, I will.
We've got to settle this once and for all. Who is most important to you? The Clampetts with their $70 million. Or me?
You, of course.
Oh, thank you.
Ask a silly question, you get a silly answer.
Hey, the kid. Should have seen Granny whoop Miss Drysdale.
I was protecting our property. She was trespassing.
Well, maybe she come over to talk. Just wanted to get something off her chest.
She sure did. Granny was sitting on it.
Oh, shame to you. Rolling around wrestling with your neighbor? In the city, women folks don't do that.
Yes, they do, Uncle Jed.
Don't help me, boy.
Well, it's true. And what's more, they wrestle in front of people. They even show it on television.
Ladies? Wrestling?
Yes, sir. And tonight, the Boston Strong Girl is going to fight Rebecca of Donnybrook Farm.
See, Jed, even on television, city women pick on us country girls. I'm going to turn that on right now.
Hey, wait a minute, Granny. Don't come on till after supper. Hey, Granny!
You done let the fox in the hen house now. I sure hope Rebecca wins tonight.
She ain't got a chance, Uncle Jed. Well, last week, the Boston Strong Girl whooped the Bobbsey twins, Mary Poppins, and the farmer's daughter, all in the same night.
Well, we better get ready for another siege of the midwinter feisties.
Sure did enjoy that possum stew, Granny.
Glad you liked it, boy. Now tune in that station where the lady wrestlers come on.
Yes, ma'am. It'll be a little while before they's on, though.
That's all right. I don't want to miss nothing. Look, they're fighting already.
He's dancing, Granny.
Oh,
You gotta help me talk her out of this, Ellie.
sure.
Well, Granny, Ellie Mae has got your bed all ready out in the cabin.
Thank you, darling.
Thanks for fine. I put your hot toddy on the nightstand.
That's a good girl.
Oh, well, I'm ready to turn in.
Me too.
Not me.
Well, Granny's sleepy. Must be plumb past her bedtime. Must be about 7:30.
You all go on to bed. I couldn't sleep no way, worrying about Rebecca of Donnybrook Farm.
Don't worry about her, Granny. She'll do fine.
You want to bet?
You're helping me again, boy.
Well, they don't call that Strong Girl a beast of Boston for nothing. She's going to tear that little old country gal to pieces.
Well, I'm sure Granny won't want to watch nothing like that.
Heck, that won't bother her. She's a doctor.
I don't know what I'd do without you, Jethro, but I'm willing to give it a try.
Either go to bed or sit down and watch with us.
I'd like to watch you wrestling, Po.
I got two helpers. Can't lick 'em, join 'em.
Come in.
You sent for me, Chief?
Oh, yes, Miss Hathaway. I want you to take these papers over for Mr. Clampett's signature.
Well, with all due respect, Chief, it is 7:30, and I don't get paid for overtime.
Well, I'd go myself, but I don't want to miss the Beast of Boston.
She just opened the door for me.
Oh, that's very funny. Margaret will love that. Margaret.
Chief! Sakes, you're not going to tell her what I said.
Yeah, no more talk about overtime pay, right?
Right. Well, just who is the Beast of Boston?
Well, it's another name for the Boston Strong Girl. She's a lady wrestler.
You're kidding.
No, she's terrific. Last week, she beat the Bobbsey twins, Mary Poppins, and the farmer's daughter, all in one night.
Those are other female grapplers.
Yes, they're all good, too, but she's beat the best. Pretty Red Wing, the Apache assassin, Nancy Drew, the terrible teeny bopper, and tonight, she's fighting Rebecca of Donnybrook Farm.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bill Baldwin speaking to you from ringside of the beautiful International Wrestling Arena, where tonight the backbreaker from Back Bay, the Boston Strong Girl, will meet the sweetheart of the Smokies, Rebecca of Donnybrook Farm.
You hear that? Rebecca's from the Smokies. That's my country. Maybe she's your kin.
After this fight, she'll be your next of kin.
There ain't no city woman that can walk a mountain down.
Down.
Well,
Referee Jane LaBelle is in the ring, and any moment now, our two female gladiators... Those boos and catcalls can mean only one thing. Yes, here she comes. The Beast of Beantown, Miss Mean herself, the Boston Strong Girl.
See what I mean? Oh, isn't she beautiful? She's going to head up my loan collection department.
Well, you can hear the reception this audience is giving the ever unpopular Boston Strong Girl. As she passes our microphone to enter the ring, we'll see if we can get a statement. Would you care to,
I guess you wouldn't.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4.
You might edgy.
you're right spiteful. Don't worry. Rebecca of Donnybrook Farm will fix her wagon.
Hey, here she comes.
Catching little thing, ain't you?
Pretty as a picture.
What a darling. I could just squeeze her to death.
Boston Strong Girl will take care of that.
Hurt that sweet child, she'll answer to me.
Thanks a lot, fellas. Well, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps we can get a statement from Rebecca. Excuse me, Rebecca. Would you care to say a few words for our audience?
Why, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Hello, everybody. Wish me luck.
Rebecca, I just have to ask you this question. What's a sweet little girl like you doing in the wrestling business?
Well, it's the only way I can pay off the mortgage on Donnybrook Farm.
Poor child.
My mama's sick, and my daddy's crippled, and I just gotta save the home place from that mean old banker.
What a rotten kid! Did you hear what she said?
This is all a put-on. Nobody believes it.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Who ever heard of a mean banker? That's it! Kick her again! Stop her! Throw the little tattletale out of the ring! Come on, Boston!
Chief, how can you cheer for that creature? She's mean, she's violent, she's cruel, she's sneaky and underhanded.
Yes. By George, I think I'm falling in love.
All right, you Boston beast. You hurt that little Tennessee gal one more time, and I'm going to give you both barrels.
Don't shoot the TV. She ain't in there.
Yeah, I just got done wiping off your footprints where you tried to kick her.
There's a couple of miles from here, over at the International Arena.
And Jethro says the after wrestling match ain't even commenced yet.
Yeah, when that bell rings, old little Rebecca at Donnybrook Farm is really going to get stomped.
She hadn't better.
Jethro could be wrong.
Uncle Jed, I'm an expert. I know every wrestling hope there is.
Good. See if you can put a lip lock on yourself.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, order has finally been restored here at the International Wrestling Arena. The referee has been revived, and Rebecca of Donnybrook Farm appears to have recovered from the brutal beating she received at the hands of the Boston Strong Girl. There's the warning bell, and in just a moment, our two opponents will meet in the center of the ring, shake hands, and this match will be underway. That, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is the undefeated champion, the terror of T-Town, the Boston Strong Girl. Here is our pretty little challenger from the Smoky Mountains, Rebecca of Donnybrook Farm, removing her only pair of shoes to protect them from possible damage. That coin purse contains all the money she has saved so far to pay off the mortgage on Donnybrook Farm. That's a picture of her mother that she always carries into the ring for inspiration.
Sweetest little girl I ever did see. Totes her mama's picture.
Get a hold of yourself.
Yeah, they's pretty near ready to go at it.
Look at that. Rebecca don't hold no grudge. Wants to shake hands with that beast.
Sham? Nobody's getting hurt, that they've probably been rehearsing for weeks.
I thought I told you to take those papers of Mr. Clappett.
It will be a pleasure. I cannot stand to watch that ridiculous farce another moment. What on earth is going on in here? Your husband is fascinated with the Boston Strong Girl.
Well, bless his heart.
The Boston who? She's a lady wrestler. Good night.
Milton, turn that thing off.
I can't, Margaret. The Boston Strong Girl is winning.
How can anyone of intelligence and breeding watch such trash?
She's beating up on this smart aleck badmouth hillbilly.
Oh, an educational program.
That's her.
Looks like a Radcliffe girl.
Joker! Kill!
And now she's got Rebecca's neck caught in the ropes and is strangling her. The referee is working furiously to try and save her. She's free. Rebecca is free. Well, wait a minute. The Strong Girl's got the referee caught in the ropes, and Rebecca is at her mercy.
Rebecca's mom. And that old Boston beast stole Tony. Now she stole Rebecca's life savings.
She ain't gonna save old Donnybrook Farm now.
Jed, we've got to. Where's Jed? Oh, somebody come to the front door and he went to let him in. Jethro, come out back with me. I can't stand to look at that violent woman another minute.
Sit down, Granny. I want to see what happened.
I told you I can't stand violent women. Now, get going and don't answer me back. Get out.
There you are, Miss Jean.
Thank you, Mr. Clappett. I'm awfully sorry to have bothered you, but Mr. Drysdale thought it was important.
No bother at all. You want to come in the parlor and watch wrestling on the television?
No, thank you. Good night.
All right.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The referee has awarded the first fall to Rebecca of Donnybrook Farm on a foul. And the Boston Strong Girl is really furious. Don't go away. This second ball is going to be a Lulu.
Where's Granny and Jethro?
Oh, Granny said she couldn't stand no more violence. So she made Jethro go out backwards.
Good, good. He'll see she gets set for the night out in the cabin. Wrestling over?
Oh, no, sir. They's going to have some more.
Oh, well, let's watch for a spell.
Jethro, faster.
Granny, we'll get arrested.
No, we won't. I'm a doctor on emergency call. I gotta put splints and bandages on that Boston Strong girl.
She ain't hurt.
I ain't there yet.
Look at that, Margaret. Oh, she's got her now.
Throw her back to the hills.
I'm afraid it's all over now, ladies and gentlemen. Rebecca will never be able to climb back into the ring after that terrible... Wait a minute. Here she comes. No, it's not Rebecca. Could it be her mother?
It's Granny. It's Granny.
Come on, honey. I'll learn you to beat up on a Tennessee girl.
Kind, lovable, even-tempered, peaceful, long-suffering woman. Granny puts up a pretty good scrap. Here she comes.
Here, Bessie, you give Granny the loving cup.
Hail to the
giant!
What are they hailing you about?
Granny, we's hailing the champ, not the chimp.
That's you, like it says on the cake.
Yeah. Grappling Granny.
What is all this nonsense?
Ain't nonsense at all. You up the Boston Strong girl, and she was a champion lady wrestler.
So now that makes you the champion lady wrestler.
Give her the loving cup, Bessie.
I don't want no loving cup, and no crown neither. And you take that sign off of my good bathrobe. I ain't no lady wrestler.
The heck you ain't. You throwed the Boston Strong girl plumb out of the ring.
Oh, I may watch you on the television.
We proud of you.
I only done that 'cause she was beating up on that poor little Tennessee girl, Rebecca of Donnybrook Farm.
I don't make no never mind. You done it, that makes you the champ.
That's right.
Sure does.
No, it don't. I'm a peace-loving woman, and I don't want to be tarred with the brush of violence.
Gee whiz, Granny, you...
I don't want to hear no more about it.
But you're famous. Everybody's seen you on the television.
Not another word. I didn't whoop that woman for fame or glory. I did it to right her wrong. And now that it's over, I want to forget it.
Youngins?
And that goes for you, too.
Well, I'm just going to tell the youngins if that's the way you want it, that's the way it's going to be.
That's the way I want it.
Then that's the way it's going to be. All right, young'uns, let's get on with our chores.
Oh, Ellie, did you sure enough see me on television when I whopped the Boston Strong girl?
You ordered her not to talk about that.
Do you want me to go to prison?
Prison?
The Constitution guarantees her the right to free speech. She could hold me up before the Supreme Court.
Oh, I don't reckon Ellie'd do a thing like that.
Of course not.
Stand up for your rights, child. Where's your spunk? Remember, you are the granddaughter of the world's champion wrestler.
We both saw you, Granny, and you was something there.
You were that old Boston strong girl every way but loose.
I was there in person when Granny slung her into the 6th row of seats.
You know how I done that, boy? I put the Possum Ridge paralyzer on her, and then I give her the bug tussle bounce.
I spent a bundle promoting you as the Beast of Boston. After that fiasco last night, they're gonna start calling you the Massachusetts Milquetoast. Why didn't you and Rebecca do the fight like we rehearsed it? Whose idea was it to run in that little old lady?
Wasn't it yours?
Of course not. I wasn't even in town.
I never saw her before in my life.
Must be Rebecca. Oh, if that little broad changed the script on me, or... Send in Rebecca. That's what I get for taking a topless waitress and giving her a chance to become an actress. What's the idea of wearing your Rebecca outfit in the daytime?
Granny invited me over, and she'll be expecting me to look like this.
Granny?
She's the little old lady who threw her out of the ring last night.
So you are the one who put her in the act?
No, she's not a performer.
What?
She's a real little old lady from Tennessee.
Kill those lights. We'll look at this film. If she's for real, you are in big trouble.
Don't tell me that was a real little old lady from Tennessee. It had to be a stuntman in drag.
No, honest. That was a grandmother.
Okay. Back to your tugboat, Annie.
You mean I'm out of show business?
That's right. Yes, come in.
Mr. Booth, the television station just sent these over. They're all about last night's wrestling match, and they've been flooded with phone calls.
Bring back the little old lady and the Boston Strong Girl. Greatest fight ever. How about a rematch? And book Tennessee Terror and Beast of Boston on Ed Sullivan's show. Guarantee, Phil. Houston Astrodome. Grappling Granny, Strong Girl rematch. All right, you're back in show business. Well, come on. Where can I find this little Granny?
I'm on my way to see her now. She wants to talk to me about the mortgage on Donnybrook Farm.
Don't tell me she believes that story about you wrestling just to pay off the mortgage?
Yeah, she even believes the part about the mean old banker who's going to foreclose on my sick mama and my crippled daddy.
Hey, I write a pretty good script, huh? Well, come on. Let's not keep the little lady waiting. Call the television station. Tell them that we got Granny and the Boston Strong Girl for a rematch. I want plenty of publicity.
Yes. How do you know she'll fight again?
Are you kidding? Did you get a load of those clothes and the old army shoes? For $20, she'll kill you.
Howdy there, Granny.
Well, it's little Rebecca of Donnybrook Farm.
Yeah. Rebecca, honey.
Oh, Granny.
This is my son-in-law, Jed Clampett.
All right, Miss Rebecca. Pleased to meet you.
Oh, thank you, sir. The pleasure is mine.
Ain't she sweet?
Who's the fella bring you?
Oh, that's Mr. Gene Booth, a gentleman I'm very beholden to.
Mr. Booth, I'm Jed Clampett.
Oh, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I hope you'll excuse the mess. I was just trying to fix Granny's churn.
You must be the handyman around here.
Well, I do the best I can.
And, Granny's the cook?
Yeah, the dandy, too. I hope you stay for victuals.
Tell me, does she make much of a salary?
No salary at all. Just room and board, same as the rest of us.
Mr. Booth, Rebecca tells me that you're the man who pays them women to get up in that ring and fight.
I only do it for patriotic reasons.
Patriotic reasons?
Exactly. It promotes physical fitness, helps solve the unemployment problem, fights poverty. And it helps a little farmer's daughter like Rebecca here learn a trade and earn an honest dollar. And I can do the same for you, little lady.
What you mean?
If you'll fight the Boston Strong Girl again, I will pay you the sum of, $10.
$10?
Tell you what, to help you buy a new churn, I'll make that 20.
Get it. The joke teller here is making me a new church.
Besides, Granny promised me she wouldn't scrap no more.
I'm retiring. Undefeated.
Now, Granny, just think. The proceeds from your match would help poor Rebecca pay off the mortgage on Donnybrook Farm.
My mama's sick, and my daddy's crippled.
Kid, I've just come out of retirement.
Oh, you didn't. How much is the mortgage, Rebecca?
Well,
$10,000. That's a 10 and a comma and 3 zeros.
Must have left my money in my other pants.
Oh, so.
Come on in, I'll write you a check.
Check. A check. Yes, that's a good idea. You do that, yes.
Come on in, set a fire.
his check won't be any good.
Oh, yes, it will. When it bounces, Granny goes in the ring, or he goes to jail.
I'm using that house you showed me, Granny. Tennessee toe torture.
Well, let him go. We've got company. Mr. Becker and Mr. Booth is here.
Howdy.
Howdy. Hey, Granny, will you make Ellie stop whooping me?
You can whip him?
Ellie can whoop anybody, except Jed and me.
Wow. What a family tag team match. Nothing.
Here you are, Miss Rebecca. Now that mean old banker you spoke about can't foreclose the mortgage.
Oh, thank you, sir.
20,000?
Yeah, I sweetened it a mite to help take care of her sick mama and her crippled daddy.
Let's go, Rebecca.
Can't you stay for victuals?
Thank you, no, but we have pressing business.
Oh, I cooked up a great big pot of goat tripe.
Sorry. You must have mighty pressing business if that don't keep you.
Yeah. Well, thanks again.
I hope this ain't goodbye.
Oh, no, we'll be back.
Did you hear that, Jed? They's coming back.
Yeah, Granny, once you said goat tripe, you had 'em.
Excuse me, Chief. That young lady we saw wrestling on television last night is here. Rebecca of Donnybrook Farm.
You mean that sniveling little creep who shot off her mouth about the mean old banker foreclosing the mortgage?
Yes.
Smoke, kick her out of the office. Throw her down the elevator shaft.
Actually, it's her manager who wants to see you. He has a check for $20,000.
Well, show him in. Any friend of Rebecca is a friend of mine.
Come in, please.
Thank you.
Mr. Drysdale, Mr. Gene Booth.
Oh, I'm pleased to meet you, sir. And you don't have to tell me who this is. It's my little sweetheart of the ring, Rebecca of Donnybrook Farm. Oh, such a pretty little thing.
Thank you, sir.
But you know, darling, you mustn't say that bankers are mean. Oh, no, we are sweet and kind, gentle, generous, a friend to rich and poor alike.
You know, I'm glad to hear you say that, because a poor handyman just gave me a bum check on your bank for $20,000.
I'll kill him. I'll put him in prison for the rest of his life.
Well, now, I don't want him in prison. I just want to force his family to fight in a tag team match. And if you can confirm that this is a bad check, I can do it.
Katie Clampett, why did he give you this check?
He thinks he's paying off the mortgage on Donnybrook Farm.
And helping my sick mama and my crippled daddy.
Well, that check is good.
Not anymore.
Hey, you can't do that. Now who am I going to get to fight?
Get her sick mommy and crippled daddy.
You dirty crook.
You come out in the hall and call me that, and you'll get your teeth kicked in.
Okay, let's go.
Please, he's a powerful-looking man.
Well, don't be frightened. Just get out there and kick his teeth in.
Hey!
Yes, I'm going to take care of the mean one. All right now, blabbermouth. You're going to get yours.
Vicious kids today. Man isn't safe in his own office.
Okay, come on, Terry. Don't do that, you nut. You're supposed to be Rebecca's crippled father.
And remember, Mama, you're sick.
Well, look who's here.
Little Rebecca's come back.
I'd like you to meet my Mama from Tennessee.
Howdy, ma'am.
Pleased to meet you. How are you, honey?
Well, she don't say much. She's got to save her strength for coughing. And this here's my daddy.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, sir. Maybe you best hang on to your cane. I'm Jed Clampett. This is my daughter, Ellie.
Howdy.
And this here is Granny.
I declare they's in awful bad shape for Tennessee folk.
How'd your daddy get so crippled up?
Well, he...
He fell off old Smokey.
Oh. Well, y'all come in. Sit down.
Let me help you down the steps.
Leave him be, Mr. Booth. Daddy's proud.
Proud as a dog with two tails.
Good thing he's got a spare. I think he just busted one. Sit down and rest a while, old-timer. I'll fetch you in some horse-mint tea.
Oh, no, we can't stay, Granny. We just dropped by so you could show Rebecca's folks some of your wrestling holes.
Wrestling holes?
Yes. Mom and Daddy and I gotta wrestle the boss's strong girl and her folks.
How come?
We need the money to pay off the mortgage on Donnybrook Farm.
I'll give you money for that and more to boot.
Oh, I meant to tell you about that. Rebecca's folks wouldn't let her cash the check. They're too proud. It's charity.
True sons and daughters of Tennessee.
Well, that's fine, but they ain't in no shape to wrestle. They's too old to fight and too weak to run.
They insist on it.
We've been challenged.
It's an affair of honor.
Like a feud.
Hey, we's talking about the feud? I ain't hungry.
The feud! You know, with the Boston strong girl, and her father, the weightlifter, and her mother, the blacksmith.
Oh, we can't let these poor folks fight them big brutes. Let's do it, Burl.
Well, now, Ellie, we ain't got no quarrel with... Come in.
I'm the father of the Boston strong girl. Where are those sniveling cowards from Tennessee?
There ain't no such thing as a sniveling coward from Tennessee. I'm from Tennessee.
Then you're a sniveling coward.
Stranger, I'm going to have to ask you to take your hand off her, Granny.
Granny! So you're the bullet that beat up on my daughter.
Yeah, and I'm going to do the same thing to you. I'll help you, Granny.
Wait a minute. If you're gonna have a family fight, have it at the international arena.
We ain't aiming for no fight, Mr. Booth. Our family ain't been provoked.
You ain't, huh?
How we been provoked?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bill Baldwin speaking to you from ringside at the International Wrestling Arena, where tonight an overflow crowd is waiting to see the tag team match of the century, Grappling Granny and the Clampetts versus the Boston Strong Girl and her family. At any moment now, our gladiators will be making their entrance.
I don't understand how you can let the Clampetts risk their necks like this.
How could I stop? They claim they're fighting a feud, an affair of honor.
That roar of welcome is for the battlers from Bud Tussle, the Clampett family.
Well, you didn't have to encourage them by buying them new robes.
We bankers are notoriously generous.
Here they come. awfully generous. It's too bad there wasn't room for your name.
Wait till Ellie takes off her robe.
Now you can hear the boos and catcalls that always greets the Boston Strong Girl, accompanied tonight by her equally repulsive parents. Our fight promoter, Gene Booth, certainly looks happy. He'll make a mint tonight.
Now, folks, this is a tag team match. Only one of you can be inside the ring at a time. Now, who'd like to start?
Let me be first. I'm the champion.
All right, Granny. Now, if you need any help, you reach to the ropes and tag another member of your team. This is a tag team match. Only one in the ring at a time.
We're wrestling our rules.
Not while I'm here.
Okay.
Looks like all three of us coming at you.
Want us to jump in there and help?
No, I think they just want to shake hands.
Granny is stunned. She's at the mercy of those three Boston brutes. This is going to be a slaughter.
Get up, Granny.
Are you hurt? You need our help?
It's all right, Jed. There's only three of them.
She's tripped her father. And now, believe it or not, she's holding him by the ankles and swinging him around like a flail. Granny has knocked the Boston Strong Girl and her mother out of the ring. There goes the father. The fight is over. Granny has won single-handed. This crowd is going wild.
Really, you embarrass me. Can't we leave now? We have work to do at the office.
Oh, sure. Let's go.
This wasn't in his script.
No, wait a minute. I can explain it. Look!
French pretensions and mountain reality, Granny as Chef Pierre and the grits and hog jowl menu. I have never quite recovered from the first time I watched Granny Moses attempt to become Chef Pierre. There is a particular quality of comic bravery in that transformation that still reaches me across the decades, a bravery so pure and so doomed that it feels almost heroic. The Happy Gizzard has already failed as a conventional mountain eatery and failed again as a topless establishment whose only innovation was the absence of hats. Now, in one of the series' most delicate acts of self-reinvention, the family decides that what Beverly Hills truly wants is French cuisine. The decision is reached with the same earnest logic that produced the topless misunderstanding, and the results are, if anything, even more gloriously askew. What touches me most is the way the idea arrives. Jethro, still glowing from his earlier discoveries, announces that the restaurant needs something different, like making it French-like and serving fancy French food like French fries and tacos and chop suey. The list itself is a small masterpiece of cultural collision. In Jethro's mind, the entire non-Appalachian world has been condensed into a single glamorous category called French, and that category cheerfully includes whatever dishes sound foreign enough to impress. I still laugh out loud at the serene confidence with which he delivers the line. There is no irony in Max Baer Jr., his voice only the open-hearted certainty of a young man who has never met a boundary he could not cheerfully ignore. Jed, as always, provides the quiet counterweight. He does not mock the plan. He simply allows it to unfold the way a good parent allows a child to build a fort that will inevitably collapse. Miss Jane, ever the gentle educator, suggests that some research might be in order, and Jethro agrees with the solemnity of a scholar accepting a fellowship. Romanov wasn't built in a day, someone offers, and the misremembered proverb hangs in the air like a blessing. The family is once again about to attempt the impossible, and once again they will do it together. The heart of the sequence for me is Irene Ryan's performance as Granny reluctantly accepting the role of Chef Pierre. She has already done the cooking, the food is ready. What she objects to is the mustache. "I've decided I ain't gonna be no man," she declares, and the line carries the full force of a woman who has spent a lifetime refusing to be anything other than herself. Yet love for Jethro softens her. She agrees to wear the mustache just for tonight. And the moment she appears with that absurd soup-soaked piece of facial hair glued above her lip is one of the great physical comedy images in the entire series. The mustache has already fallen into the soup kettle twice. A dog has run off with the original. What remains looks, as Jed observes with perfect understatement, like part of a vegetable brush. Irene Ryan wears it with a dignity that somehow makes the ridiculousness more complete. She is not playing a joke. She is enduring one for the sake of family, and that endurance is what makes the scene glow. I remember watching this episode with an older relative who had once worked in a hotel kitchen. When Granny appeared as Chef Pierre, my relative put down her sewing and said very softly, "That's every cook who ever had to smile for the customers while the sauce separated." The recognition was instant. Beneath the slapstick there is a real portrait of labor and loyalty. Granny has spent the afternoon preparing a meal that will never be recognized as the French feast Jethro advertised. She has translated beef bourguignon, pomme gratin, crepes, Suzette into the only language she trusts, grits and hog jowl. The menu cards may say one thing, the plates will say another. That gap between announcement and reality is the comic engine, but it is also the emotional truth. The Clampetts cannot become something they are not, even when they try with all their considerable might. The arrival of the Vanderpumps or Vanderports or Vanderkamps, the script itself seems delightfully uncertain, brings the pretension to its crisis. Jethro greets them with an accent that is atrocious by any Parisian standard, and pure gold by the standards of the series. "Sexy, hot and Zeke goat," he offers by way of explanation, and the line still undoes me. He is trying so hard. The physical comedy of seating them, of forcing the introduction of Chef Pierre, of watching the moustache refuse to behave is timed with the precision of classic farce, yet what I feel most keenly is not the laughter but the underlying tenderness. Jethro wants the evening to be perfect for Mr. Drysdale's important clients. He wants the restaurant to succeed. He wants, in the deepest sense, to give something back to the family that has given him everything. The fact that the gift is a plate of grits labeled as haute cuisine only makes the desire more moving. Then comes the revelation that still feels like a small miracle every time I encounter it. The Vanderpumps are not the aristocratic depositors Drysdale imagined. They are fellow mountain people who struck uranium and moved to Beverly Hills with the same disorienting speed as the Clampetts. When the grits and hog jowl appear, the husband abandons all pretense of high society and falls upon the food with the gratitude of a man who has been starving for home. "I ain't stuck my choppers in grit and gills this good since we left Sargon Ridge," he declares, and the line lands with the force of pure recognition. Granny's cooking has done what no amount of French labeling could achieve. It has called like to like across the artificial barriers of wealth and zip code. I have always loved the way the series handles this discovery. There is no heavy-handed moral. The humor simply opens a door, and through that door we glimpse the possibility that the distance between Bugtussle and Beverly Hills is not as absolute as the city would like to believe. The Vanderpumps have learned the surface manners of wealth. Pearlie Mae has even taken to wearing shoes, but the first taste of honest mountain food undoes years of careful performance. In that undoing I hear one of the series' quietest and most persistent themes: the things we pretend to be will never nourish us the way the things we truly are can nourish us. Jed's reaction is characteristically understated. He is simply glad that Jethro has finally found some paying customers. Granny, never one to miss an opportunity for regional pride, cannot resist a small correction. The Vanderpumps are not hill folk but gulch folk, a distinction that means everything inside the geography of home and nothing outside it. The exchange is brief, almost tossed away, yet it contains an entire worldview. Identity for the Clampetts is not a costume that can be changed with a mustache or a French menu card. It is the deep unchangeable fact of where the body learned to be hungry and what it learned to call food. The sequence ends with the sale of the Happy Gizzard itself. Mr. Vanderport offers $1,000 if Granny will continue to cook 100 if she will not. Jethro's choice is never in doubt. The restaurant that began as a dream of culinary stardom ends as a transaction that keeps Granny's cooking at the center. I still feel a small ache of satisfaction at that resolution. The pretensions have collapsed, the mustache has been abandoned, the French labels have been set aside. And what remains is the thing that mattered all along, a family that knows how to feed its own. Every time I return to these scenes, I am struck by how gently the series treats the failure of transformation. Many comedies would punish the characters for daring to reach beyond their station. The Beverly Hillbillies does the opposite. It allows the reach records the comic shortfall with affection and then quietly affirms that the original station was never a limitation. Granny as Chef Pierre is ridiculous. Granny as herself serving the food she has always served is enough. That affirmation still feels radical to me. In a culture that constantly urges reinvention, the Clampetts remind us that sometimes the most courageous act is to remain exactly who you have always been, mustache or no mustache, and to trust that the right people will recognize the difference between a label and a meal. I think of the many times in my own life when I have tried to present myself as something more polished, more cosmopolitan, more acceptable to rooms that seem to require those qualities. The effort has always left me feeling slightly fraudulent, the way Granny must have felt with that vegetable brush mustache wilting above her lip. And then inevitably someone arrives who is hungry for the real thing and the pretense can finally be set down. Watching the Vanderpumps discover the grits is like watching that moment of relief externalized and made communal. The French experiment fails, and in its failure the family finds a deeper success, the recognition that home cannot be translated, only shared. The plates are cleared. The mustache is discarded. The Happy Gizzard passes into new hands. Yet the taste of that evening lingers, the taste of pretension giving way to honesty, of labels falling away from the food that was always sufficient. In that taste I still find the particular comfort this series alone seems able to offer, the assurance that we are allowed to be exactly as we are, and that somewhere even in Beverly Hills there will be people who are grateful for the plain truth of it. I have spent more hours than I care to admit thinking about Milburn Drysdale's particular species of panic, and nowhere does that panic reach a more exquisite pitch than in the long sweaty sequence that surrounds the possible arrival of the Vanderpumps. Raymond Bailey plays the banker as a man whose entire nervous system is wired directly to the size of his deposits, and in these scenes the wire is visibly humming. The promise of a $20 million account is not merely business. It is oxygen identity proof that he still belongs among the people who matter. Watching him scramble to secure that account while the Clampetts, with their genius for accidental sabotage, keep kicking the legs out from under him remains one of the purest comic pleasures the series ever offered me. The first time Drysdale appears in this stretch of story he is already vibrating. He has prepared the office as if for a state visit, rose petals, champagne, the full arsenal of flattery. Welcome, beloved Mr. and Mrs. Vanderpump. He begins only to discover that the beloved clients have not yet arrived. The small deflated admission that he has just blew $2 with a rose petal is a perfect Bailey moment, the cheapness and the grandeur occupying the same breath. I still smile at the way he tries to recover, insisting that the difference between renting Jethro a dilapidated diner for $35 a month and buying a proper restaurant for $200,000 is evidence of his own fiscal prudence. The self-justification is so transparent that it becomes oddly endearing. Drysdale is not a villain, he is a man terrified of losing the only measure of worth he understands. What touches me most is the way the script allows us to see the cost of that terror. When Miss Jane tries to speak about Jethro's struggling restaurant, Drysdale waves her off with the line that he has other fish to fry. The dismissal is automatic, almost reflexive, and yet Bailey lets a flicker of awareness cross his face. He knows he has handed Jethro a doomed enterprise. He knows the $35 rent is less generosity than calculation. The knowledge sits in him like a small stone, and every time the Vanderpumps are mentioned the stone grows heavier. I have known men who lived inside similar calculations, men whose kindness was always secondary to the ledger, and watching Drysdale struggle against that secondary status still feels uncomfortably familiar. Then, Jethro arrives. The timing is merciless and perfect. Drysdale is in the middle of his most elaborate performance of refinement when the door opens and the largest depositor in the bank, Jethro Bodine, proud proprietor of the soon-to-be topless Happy Gizzard, bounds in to share the good news. Our restaurant, the Happy Gizzard, it's going topless, he announces, and the temperature in the room drops 20 degrees. Raymond Bailey's reaction is a master class in controlled detonation. The smile freezes. The eyes glaze. The body remains upright only by sheer force of will. When he finally speaks, the voice is the sound of a man watching $20 million evaporate in real time. You certainly do have an exclusive clientele, one of the Vanderpumps observes with lethal politeness, and Drysdale's answering gratitude is the gratitude of the damned. I never tire of the physical comedy that follows. Drysdale develops an instant catastrophic headache. Ice packs appear. He is led away like a casualty of war. The image of the most powerful banker in Beverly Hills, felled by the word topless in its clampett definition, is so exact in its justice that it still makes me laugh with recognition. Power built on appearances is always one honest sentence away from collapse. Jethro has not tried to destroy anything. He has simply told the truth as he understands it, and the truth is more than the carefully constructed world of the Commerce Bank can bear. The subsequent attempts to recover the Vanderpumps are pure Drysdale in extremis. He throws himself in front of their car on Sunset Boulevard. Actually, he pushes a clerk into their path and later rewards the clerk by letting him go home early. He invents a European sojourn for Jed. He invents a medical reputation for Jed. Jed Pratt is also a world-famous physician, eccentric but a fantastically brilliant doctor, he declares. And the pile-up of fabrications becomes so desperate that it achieves a kind of grandeur. Bailey plays each new lie with the energy of a man building a bridge out of matchsticks while the river rises. I find myself rooting for him even as I know the bridge will not hold. That is the secret of the performance. Drysdale's panic is so complete, so naked, that it becomes sympathetic. He is not scheming for advantage, he is fighting for survival in the only language he knows. When the Vanderpumps finally sit in the office and begin listing their ailments, migraines, liver trouble, sleeplessness, Drysdale's relief is almost religious. Here at last is a problem he can solve with the Clampetts. He will produce Jed as the miracle doctor. The fact that Jed has no medical training whatsoever is a minor detail. In Drysdale's world, reality is endlessly negotiable as long as the deposit's clear. The scene in which he tries to pass Jed off as a physician while simultaneously accepting Granny's headache remedy, straight corn liquor, is one of the great comic collisions of the series. Bailey's face as he realizes he has just endorsed mountain moonshine as medicine is a study in cascading horror. I have always been moved by the small human cracks that appear in Drysdale during these sequences. When he tells Miss Jane that he counts money to fall asleep, the line is played for laughter, yet Bailey lets a genuine weariness leak through. This is a man who has organized his entire inner life around the accumulation of other people's fortunes. The Vanderpumps represent not just money but validation, proof that he is still necessary. Watching him chase that proof while the Clampetts, without malice or even awareness, keep dismantling it feels like watching a man try to hold back the tide with a teacup. The cultural context of the mid-1960s sharpens the comedy. America was in the midst of an unprecedented expansion of middle-class wealth, and the old gatekeepers of society were feeling the ground shift. Drysdale is one of those gatekeepers. His panic is the panic of a class that senses its definitions of value are becoming obsolete. The Clampetts, with their oil money and their absolute indifference to social hierarchy, are the living embodiment of that obsolescence. Every time Jethro opens his mouth in the bank, another brick falls from the wall Drysdale has spent his life maintaining. The fact that the wall is made of snobbery and fear does not make the falling any less painful for the man who built it. What stays with me longest is the way the series refuses to hate Drysdale. It is easy to imagine a harsher comedy that would treat him as a pure comic villain. Instead, the Beverly Hillbillies keeps granting him moments of almost tragic self-awareness. When he admits that the difference between the cheap diner and the expensive restaurant is the measure of his own character, the line lands with unexpected weight. He knows what he is. He simply cannot stop being it. That inability is the source of both the comedy and the strange reluctant compassion I feel for him every time I return to these scenes. By the time the Vanderpumps depart for the Merchants Bank, Drysdale is a man who has stared into the abyss of a $20 million loss and seen his own reflection. The ice pack, the invented European doctor, the rose petals scattered for clients who never fully arrived, all of it has been for nothing. And yet the story is not finished with him. The same panic that drives him to these extremes will soon drive him to stage an entire fake blizzard, to hire wolves, to risk frostbite in 85-degree weather. The anxiety on display here is only the overture. The full symphony of Drysdale's desperation is still to come. I watch these bank scenes now with the same mixture of laughter and recognition I felt years ago. The laughter is for the perfect timing, the escalating lies, the way Bailey can make a single raised eyebrow convey the collapse of a financial empire. The recognition is for the deeper truth. The comedy reveals that some people will always measure their worth in the approval of strangers, and that the strangers will always prove unreliable. Against that anxious measuring, the Clampetts stand as a permanent alternative. They do not need the Vanderpumps. They do not need the $20 million. They need only one another and a plate of whatever Granny has decided to cook. In the distance between those two ways of living lies the entire moral geography of the series, and nowhere is that geography more sharply drawn than in the panicked, sweating, magnificently foolish figure of Milburn Drysdale trying to hold on to a world that is already slipping through his fingers. I have never been able to watch the moment Granny Moses receives that calendar from the First National Bank of Bucktussle without feeling a corresponding ache in my own chest. It is such a small object, an ordinary bank calendar, the kind that arrives unbidden in the mail, and is usually discarded without a second glance, yet in Irene Ryan's hands it becomes a portal. One glance at the printed snow scene and the entire carefully constructed life in Beverly Hills begins to dissolve. The California sun is shining, the birds are singing, the flowers are blooming, and Granny looks at all of it with the expression of a woman who has just been told that everything she loves has been quietly stolen while she was not looking. What moves me most is the suddenness of the longing. One moment she is the familiar volcanic matriarch scolding Ellie Mae about marmots in the kitchen and declaring that the little bear is 2 months behind in his sleeping. The next moment the calendar has opened a door she cannot close. "Look at this beautiful snow," she says, and the voice that has spent years ordering the world into submission softens into something almost childlike. "Sure, it's pretty. There ain't nothing prettier than them big white flakes of floating down. I used to say that was Mother Goose shaking out her feather bed." The poetry of the line still undoes me. In the middle of a sitcom that thrives on broad physical comedy, the writers pause to let Granny remember beauty, and Irene Ryan delivers the memory with a reverence that feels completely unforced. I think of the winters of my own childhood when I watch this scene. The particular silence that falls after a heavy snow, the way the world seems both larger and more intimate at once, the permission the cold gives you to stay inside and tell stories. Granny's homesickness is not abstract, it is made of specific bodily memories. She remembers melting snow to wash her hair because the well was frozen. She remembers clothes frozen so stiff they could be carried like cordwood, and needed no starch. She remembers the wolves that came down from the hills when the cold wind blew. Each detail is offered not as complaint but as evidence of a life that made sense. In Beverly Hills, the seasons have been reduced to too wet and dry, you've either got mud or dust. The indictment is quiet and absolute. Buddy Ebsen's Jed watches her with the careful attention of a man who has seen this mood before. He tries reason. He reminds her that she used to hate the cold, that she once claimed the first frost made the wolves eat the sheep just for the wool. Granny will have none of it. "The sun out here has fried your brain," she snaps, "just like it's ruined my beautiful hair." The vanity is pure Granny. Her hair was black as a raven's wing when washed in snow water, and yet beneath the vanity lies something more vulnerable. She is not merely missing weather, she is missing the version of herself that existed inside that weather. The California sun has bleached more than her hair. It has bleached the sharp edges of identity that the harsh winters used to keep defined. Ellie Mae, ever the loyal daughter of the hills, joins the longing without hesitation. "You're making me so homesick, I can't stand it," she tells Granny, and Donna Douglas plays the line with a softness that balances Irene Ryan's fire. The two women sit in the California light, and recreate an entire lost climate out of words. Jack Frost painting pictures on the windows, Mother Goose shaking her feather bed, snow ice cream made with vanilla and sugar in a pan. I still feel the communal pull of that conversation. It is not nostalgia for its own sake, it is an attempt to keep a shared language from disappearing. As long as they can name the old things together, the old things are not entirely gone. Jethro, of course, is immune. He is busy with mail-order schemes, worm farms, mushroom basements, buggy whip distributorships, and the idea of returning to snow strikes him as a personal insult. Not me, he declares, and the contrast is perfect. Max Baer Jr. plays the refusal with the cheerful self-interest that makes Jethro both exasperating and lovable. He has found a world of opportunity in the sunshine, and he cannot understand why anyone would trade it for frostbite. The generational divide is drawn without cruelty. Jethro is not wrong to love the new life. Granny is not wrong to mourn the old one. The series simply lets both truths sit side by side in the same kitchen. The calendar itself becomes a kind of character. It is from the First National Bank of Bugtussle, and the president is Jesse James's grandson. The detail is tossed off with the series' characteristic deadpan. It's a good thing Jessie never lived to see that, yet it deepens the homesickness. Even the institutions of home have continued without her. The bank still sends its calendars. The seasons still turn. The only thing missing is Granny herself. That realization is what pushes the longing from wistful to urgent. I've got to have snow now, she tells Jed over the telephone. You get me back home. The demand is absolute. Reason has no purchase. The body remembers what the mind has tried to accommodate, and the body is finished accommodating. I have always been struck by how seriously the episode takes this midwinter restlessness. Many comedies would treat an elderly woman's desire to return to a harder life as a temporary comic aberration. The Beverly Hillbillies treats it as a legitimate spiritual crisis. Granny's midwinter feisties, as Jed later calls them, are not a joke. They are the predictable eruption of a soul that has been asked to live too far from its original weather. The series understands that place is not merely scenery. Place is the set of conditions under which a person learned to be fully alive. Remove those conditions for too long, and something essential begins to starve. Irene Ryan's performance in these scenes is a masterclass in controlled power. She does not plead. She does not dissolve into sentimentality. She simply states the facts of her deprivation with the same authority she once used to order the family to the table. The authority makes the vulnerability more piercing. When she says she could jump in a hole and pull the hole in after the hyperbole is comic, yet the emotion underneath is not. I have known that feeling, the desire to disappear into a remembered landscape so completely that the present tense can no longer find you. Watching Granny give the feeling voice still feels like being given permission to admit my own private longings. The family's response is characteristic and moving. They do not dismiss her, they do not organize an intervention. They simply begin in their practical way to make space for the possibility that she might actually leave. Jed calls Drysdale. Plans are discussed. The machinery of departure starts to turn. That willingness to let her go even while hoping she will stay is one of the quietest expressions of love the series ever offered. They understand that keeping Granny in California against the full force of her homesickness would be a different kind of cruelty. By the time the scene ends, the calendar has done its work. The sunshine outside the mansion windows has been rendered suspect. The birdsong has become an irritant. The flowers are almost an insult. Granny has looked at a cheap bank calendar and remembered that she is a woman of snow and ice and frozen laundry and wolves at the edge of the clearing. Everything that follows the fake blizzard, the plastic snow, the stuffed wolf, the desperate comedy of Drysdale's deception grows directly out of this moment of recognition. The longing is real. The series will go to extraordinary, ridiculous lengths to answer it, but it will never pretend the longing was trivial. I return to these minutes whenever my own restlessness begins to surface. There is comfort in watching a character name her displacement so clearly and demand redress so fiercely. Granny does not apologize for wanting the weather that made her. She does not dilute the desire to make it more acceptable to the people who prefer sunshine. She simply states the need and waits for the world to respond. In that unapologetic stance, I still find a kind of courage that feels in short supply. The calendar from Bugtussle is only paper and ink, yet in Irene Ryan's hands it becomes a declaration some parts of us do not relocate. They wait patient and exacting until we either return to them or invent a facsimile convincing enough to fool the heart for one more season. The snow she remembers is already falling inside her. The rest of the episode will be the family's elaborate, hilarious, ultimately tender attempt to make the rest of us see it too. I have always regarded the fake blizzard sequence as one of the purest expressions of love, however misguided, that the Beverly Hillbillies ever attempted. Mr. Drysdale and Miss Jane do not stage this elaborate meteorological fraud because they are bored or cruel. They stage it because the thought of Granny returning to Bugtussle is more terrifying to them than any amount of personal humiliation. The $20 million accounts, the social climbing, the carefully maintained image of the Commerce Bank, all of it is secondary to the single non-negotiable fact that the Clampett money must remain in Beverly Hills. And so, with the desperate ingenuity of people who have run out of ordinary arguments, they decide to manufacture winter. The planning scenes still delight me with their escalating absurdity. Drysdale on the telephone to the movie studio bargaining over the quality of plastic snow is Raymond Bailey at his most magnificently unhinged. I want the best quality snow, this is Beverly Hills. 3 feet will cost how much? No. Look, I want plastic, not platinum. All right, make it 3 inches. The negotiation is conducted with the seriousness of a man ordering strategic weapons. Then come the wolves. Not ordinary wolves, 4-footed wolves with big teeth, pointy ears, long hair, and the ability to howl. When the studio representative apparently offers a human relative, Drysdale's rejection is absolute. Larry, I don't care if he does still qualify. I want the kind of wolf that howls. Larry, 4-footed wolf. I laugh every time, and every time I also feel a small pang of sympathy. This is a man so frightened of losing the Clampetts that he is prepared to populate their lawn with taxidermy and call it nature. Nancy Culp's Miss Jane is the reluctant co-conspirator, and her performance gives the scheme its moral complexity. She hates the deception. She says so. I hate myself for doing it, she admits, while turning the air conditioning down to Arctic levels. Yet she does it anyway because her loyalty to Drysdale and beneath that her genuine affection for the family leave her no clean options. The way Culp plays those contradictory feelings, duty warring with conscience, affection warring with honesty, remains one of the quiet treasures of the series. When she later appears as the faithful Indian companion White Fang, complete with the admission that she is temporarily a member of the famous northern tribe that always helps the Mounties. The comic dignity she brings to the humiliation is almost heroic. The execution of the blizzard is a masterpiece of escalating logistical madness. First, the air conditioning is set as low as it will go so that the mansion itself becomes the primary special effect. The Clampetts wake to rooms like iceboxes and assume Granny's weather prediction has come true. Ellie Mae reports that the big machines in the cellar are just going full blast. Jed considers fetching firewood and is warned about hungry wolves. The family gathers in the kitchen to warm leftover possum stew, only to discover that Jethro has already sleep-eaten everything in sight, leaving only a single sausage for Seed. The detail is pure Clampett. The apocalypse arrives and Jethro's appetite remains the most reliable force of nature in the house. Outside, the production design of the deception reaches its peak: plastic snow, wind machines, a sound effects record of howling, stuffed wolves positioned at strategic doors. Drysdale himself appears as Milburn of the Mountains, complete with sled dog commands mush mush on King, on Pierre, on White Fang, while Miss Jane in full sidekick mode threatens to give him a neck full of White Fang if he cracks the whip one more time. The fact that it is 85 degrees outside and the dogs are wearing 3 layers of fur only heightens the glorious insanity. Bailey and Culp play the rescue mission with the straight-faced commitment of people who know that the only way to sell a lie this large is to believe it completely for the duration of the performance. What touches me most is the care that underlies the fraud. They bring supplies: canned meat, powdered milk, chocolate bars. They invent an entire mythology of Beverly Hills winters. These Beverly Hills winters is short but they're killer, and an equally absurd method of snow removal. Here in Beverly Hills, they vacuum the snow, Every detail is designed to keep Granny from stepping outside and discovering the sunshine. The deception is total because the fear is total. If Granny sees the real weather, she will leave. If she leaves, the bank's largest accounts leave with her. In Drysdale's mind, the two possibilities are indistinguishable from the end of the world. I am always struck by how the series allows the scheme to succeed far longer than logic would permit. The Clampetts are not stupid. They notice that the wolf Ellie Mae brings inside is strangely motionless. They notice that the snow Jethro collects for ice cream has more body than snow back home, yet the desire to believe in the blizzard, especially Granny's desire, keeps the illusion alive. Irene Ryan plays Granny's satisfaction with her own predictive powers so convincingly that we almost forget the snow is plastic. "You sure hit this blizzard on the nose," Jed tells her, and she accepts the compliment as her due. The comedy of the moment is inseparable from its tenderness. For a little while, the fake winter is giving her something real, the feeling of being useful, of having read the signs correctly, of living once more inside a climate that makes sense to her bones. The cultural context of the mid-1960s adds another layer. Hollywood had been manufacturing weather for decades: cornflakes, asbestos, gypsum, and eventually plastic snow. By importing those studio techniques into the Clampett mansion, the episode quietly satirizes the industry's willingness to fake anything for the right effect. Drysdale is only doing on a domestic scale what the studios do every day. The difference is that his audience is not a paying public but a single elderly woman whose homesickness has become a threat to his balance sheets. The satire is gentle, but it is precise. As the night wears on, the physical toll of the deception begins to show. Drysdale and Miss Jane are exhausted. The wind machines roar. The stuffed wolves collect imaginary dandruff that is declared very contagious. The air conditioning continues its relentless work. And still the family remains inside, convinced that leaving the house means facing both wolves and drifts. The success of the illusion is a testament to how well the conspirators understand their audience. They know Granny's memories of real winter so thoroughly that they can reconstruct a convincing counterfeit from the outside in. I watch these scenes now with a complicated mixture of laughter and something close to admiration. The laughter is easy: the plastic snow, the howling record, the Mountie act, the ongoing threat of White Fang. The admiration is for the sheer commitment. Drysdale and Miss Jane are prepared to freeze, to look ridiculous, to risk discovery and rage, all to keep one old woman from boarding a train. Their methods are absurd. Their motives are selfish. And yet beneath the selfishness is a recognition that Granny's happiness matters, even if they can only imagine that happiness occurring inside the borders of Beverly Hills. The fake blizzard is the most elaborate compliment the series ever paid to the power of her longing. By the time the night ends, the mansion has become a stage set for a winter that never was. The plastic snow lies undisturbed. The stuffed wolves keep their glassy vigil, the air conditioning hums its artificial cold, and inside, for a few more hours, Granny Moses is allowed to believe that the climate has finally remembered her name. The deception cannot last. The sunshine is waiting just beyond the door, but while it holds, it is strangely beautiful, a monument to the lengths people will go when they are afraid of losing the ones they have never quite known how to love openly. I return to this sequence whenever I need to be reminded that comedy can contain real devotion. The plastic snow will melt under the first honest scrutiny. The wolves will be revealed as fabric and stuffing. The Mountie will return to his banker's suit. Yet the impulse that created the blizzard, the desperate wish to give Granny the winter she was missing, remains one of the most human things the series ever showed us. In the end, the fake weather is less a trick than a translation, an attempt to speak the language of homesickness in the only dialect a Beverly Hills banker knows how to speak. I have always believed that the true test of any elaborate deception is not how long it can be sustained but how gracefully it collapses. The fake blizzard in the Beverly Hillbillies collapses with a particular mixture of farce and unexpected tenderness that still feels to me like one of the series' quiet triumphs. After a night of plastic snow, wind machines, stuffed wolves, and air conditioning warfare, the morning arrives with the inevitable California sunshine, and the carefully constructed winter begins to melt under the simplest human actions: a boy wanting ice cream, a girl bringing a motionless animal into the house, a man stepping outside to feel the air on his face. The first crack appears with Jethro. Max Bear Jr. has spent the episode as the family's most reliable appetite, and it is that appetite that finally undoes the illusion. He decides to make snow ice cream. The request is so pure, so rooted in the very memories Granny has been mourning that no one can refuse him. He goes outside with a pan, scoops up the plastic snow, and returns declaring that it ain't very cold, but it's got more body than snow back home. The line is delivered with the cheerful authority of a connoisseur, and I never fail to laugh. Even the counterfeit weather must submit to Jethro's standards of quality. When Granny tastes it and finds it acceptable, the deception gains a few more minutes of life. The family is still willing to believe because the belief is giving them something they need. Ellie Mae's discovery of the stuffed wolf is the next gentle catastrophe. Donna Douglas plays the moment with the straightforward curiosity that defines her character. She has been watching the animal for better than an hour. It has not moved, it is so firm. She decides it has frozen stiff in mid-howl and thoughtfully carries the carcass into the house so that it will not fall over outside. The physical comedy of the scene is perfect, the enormous, glassy-eyed wolf being hauled across the threshold like an awkward piece of furniture, yet what I feel most is the innocence of the gesture. Ellie Mae is trying to be kind to a creature she believes has suffered. That kindness becomes the instrument of revelation. Jed's reaction is the turning point. Buddy Ebsen has spent the night accepting the blizzard at face value the way he accepts most of the world's strange offerings. When he examines the wolf and realizes it is stuffed, the quiet shift in his posture says everything. He does not explode. He does not accuse. He simply looks at Mr. Drysdale and waits. The waiting is more devastating than any outburst could have been. Raymond Bailey's Drysdale, still costumed in the remnants of his Mountie persona, understands at once that the game is over. The confession that follows is one of the most naked moments the character is ever given. I might as well admit it. This whole visit's a phony. The snow is plastic. The wolf's stuffed. The wind comes from a machine. The whole thing was dreamed up to keep Granny from going back to the hills. The words tumble out with the exhaustion of a man who has been holding his breath for 12 hours. Bailey lets the defeat sit on his face without defense. What touches me most is the immediate attempt to redirect the blame onto Miss Jane. It was 100% her idea, he insists, only to be corrected by the very woman he is trying to sacrifice. Nancy Culp's Miss Jane refuses the escape hatch. She accepts her share of the scheme with the same dry integrity she brings to every moral complication the series hands her. The small exchange, Drysdale trying to shift responsibility, Miss Jane quietly reclaiming it, reveals more about their relationship than pages of exposition could manage. The family's response to the confession is characteristic and moving. There is no rage. There is no extended recrimination. Instead, there is a kind of astonished gratitude. That's about the nicest thing I ever heard tell of someone, says, going to all that trouble just to make Granny happy. The line lands with the force of pure Clampett logic. They have been deceived, frozen, frightened by imaginary wolves and fed a diet of canned emergency rations. Yet the first interpretation they reach for is kindness. I never stop finding that interpretation humbling. In a world that trains us to assume the worst of other people's motives, the Clampetts consistently assume the best, and the assumption is not naivety. It is a disciplined choice. The practical problem remains: Granny must not find out. The sunshine is waiting just beyond the door, 85 degrees of evidence that the blizzard was a lie. The solution they invent is pure sitcom elegance. Drysdale will pretend to be ill, sore throat, fever, the full catalogue of symptoms, so that Granny's doctoring instincts will keep her inside the house. The ruse requires Jethro to stay in bed as well, burning up with a fever, even though he insists the heat is coming from outside. The overlapping lies create a comic density that still delights me. Everyone is performing for everyone else, and the performances keep colliding in the most ordinary domestic spaces. The parlor, the kitchen, the hallway, where pans of plastic snow are still being carried back and forth. Granny's snow ice cream becomes the unexpected agent of both comfort and exposure. She prepares a fresh batch for the ailing Drysdale, declaring it the best thing in the world for fever and sore throat. Drysdale is forced to eat the plastic confection while maintaining the fiction of illness. It's kind of chewy but not bad, he manages, and the line is pure Bailey, the banker reduced to evaluating the mouthfeel of studio snow while his carefully constructed world collapses around him. When the ice cream works with miraculous speed, the only remaining option is retreat. Drysdale demands to be taken to a hospital. The sled dogs, still imaginary, are called into service one last time. The exit is as chaotic and undignified as the entrance was theatrical. What stays with me longest is the way the episode refuses to punish the conspirators too harshly. The fake blizzard has been absurd, expensive, and ultimately transparent, yet it was born from a genuine desire to ease Granny's pain. The series allows that desire to remain visible even after the plastic snow has been exposed. In the final moments of the sequence, as Drysdale and Miss Jane make their battered retreat, there is a sense that something real has been exchanged. The Clampetts have been given a night of winter. Drysdale has been given a night of feeling necessary. Both gifts were counterfeit and both in their way were received with gratitude. I watch the meltdown now with the same mixture of laughter and recognition I felt years ago. The laughter is for the stuffed wolf, the chewy snow ice cream, the overlapping fevers, the Mountie who can no longer hold his posture. The recognition is for the deeper truth the comedy keeps circling, that the things we do to keep the people we need from leaving are almost always more revealing than the reasons we give for wanting them to stay. Drysdale's blizzard was never really about the weather. It was about the terror of an empty ledger and an emptier life. That the Clampetts answered the terror with kindness rather than contempt still feels like one of the series' most generous acts. The plastic snow is gone. The wolves have been carried away. The air conditioning has been returned to human levels. And Granny for the moment remains in California, unaware that the winter she believed in was manufactured for her sake alone. The deception has reached its limit, as all deceptions must. What remains is the ordinary sunshine of Beverly Hills and the extraordinary fact that a family and a banker briefly shared a climate that never existed and were both in their different ways grateful for the shelter it provided. I have always cherished the particular velocity with which the Beverly Hillbillies can move from domestic irritation to full-scale cultural collision, and nowhere is that velocity more exhilarating than in the sequence that begins with a porch, a cabin, and Mrs. Drysdale's outraged sense of property values. One moment Granny is sitting in her newly recreated mountain cabin, rocking and playing the harp in an attempt to soothe what Jed calls her midwinter feisties. The next moment Margaret Drysdale has arrived to deliver an ultimatum, and within minutes the two women are rolling across the lawn in a tangle of mutual contempt that still feels to me like one of the most honest physical confrontations the series ever staged. What touches me most is the way the fight grows directly out of love. The family has rebuilt a piece of bug tussle on the mansion grounds rocking chair harp, even the pig, because Granny has been impossible to live with and they want to ease her restlessness. The gesture is pure Clampett, practical, affectionate, slightly absurd. To Mrs. Drysdale, however, the cabin is an act of aggression against the carefully curated beauty of Beverly Hills. For years, I've done my best to make this the most beautiful and exclusive neighborhood, she declares, and you come up with this. The line is delivered with the full force of a woman who has organized her identity around surfaces. Irene Ryan's Granny answers in the only language she trusts. Words give way to action, and suddenly the two matriarchs are locked in a struggle that has very little to do with real estate and everything to do with whose definition of home will prevail. Harriet McGibbon plays Mrs. Drysdale's outrage with a brittle intensity that makes the eventual brawl feel inevitable. This is a woman who has never dirtied her hands in her life, and the shock of finding herself in an actual physical fight with a hillbilly grandmother is written across every stiff, incredulous line of her body. Irene Ryan, by contrast, fights the way she does everything else with absolute commitment and not a trace of self-consciousness. When the dust settles and Mrs. Drysdale staggers home to display her bruises and the mud pack she claims is the result of beauty shop boys, the asymmetry is perfect. One woman has been defending an abstract idea of exclusivity, the other has been defending the concrete right to sit on her own porch and play her own harp. The series does not need to declare a winner, the comedy has already chosen sides. Jed's reaction to the fight is one of the quiet moral centers of the episode. Buddy Ebsen plays the disapproval with the gentle authority that defines the character. He is ashamed not of Granny's strength but of the public nature of the violence. I'm ashamed of you rolling around wrestling with your neighbor in the city. Women folks don't do that. The line is spoken with the weariness of a man who has spent years trying to translate mountain customs into city acceptability and has never fully succeeded. What makes the moment land so deeply for me is the way the script immediately undercuts his certainty. Jethro, never one to leave a factual error uncorrected, pipes up with the news that city women do indeed wrestle, and they do it in front of people, and they even show it on television. The revelation is pure Jethro, delivered with the cheerful confidence of a young man who has been paying attention to the strange new world around him while the adults were busy being scandalized. Ladies wrestling, he announces. Yes, sir. And tonight the Boston Strong Girl is gonna fight Rebecca of Donnybrook Farm. The names alone are a comic gift. In 2 phrases, the series conjures an entire parallel universe of female combat, complete with regional mythologies and moral narratives. Jed's attempt to maintain the high ground collapses under the simple weight of evidence. Television has already normalized what he considered unthinkable. The city is not more civilized than the hills. It has simply found a way to package the same human impulses and sell advertising around them. I still feel a small thrill of recognition when the family settles in to watch the match. The living room becomes a ringside seat, and the Clampetts approach the broadcast with the same seriousness they once brought to barn dances and church socials. Granny, who only minutes earlier was being scolded for fighting in public, now leans forward with the focused attention of a scout evaluating talent. Ellie Mae is openly partisan. Jethro offers expert commentary on holds he claims to know by heart. Jed tries one last time to maintain a posture of adult disapproval and fails. The television has done what no amount of reasoning could achieve. It has made the physical expression of conflict visible, communal, and strangely legitimate. The cultural timing of the sequence is worth lingering over. In the mid-1960s, professional wrestling occupied a complicated place in American popular culture, part sport, part theater, part morality play. By placing the Clampetts in front of a women's match, the series quietly observes how television was already eroding the old boundaries between private behavior and public spectacle. Jed's belief that women folks don't do that belongs to a world that is disappearing in real time. The Boston Strong Girl and Rebecca of Donnybrook Farm are proof that the disappearance is not only happening but is being broadcast into living rooms across the country, including the living room of the most unlikely family in Beverly Hills. What moves me most is the way the episode allows Granny's earlier fight to be recontextualized by the television match. The porch brawl, which seemed like a comic disruption of civilized order, now looks like an amateur version of something the city has already professionalized. The series does not mock Granny for fighting. It simply reveals that the city has been fighting all along, only with better lighting and a referee. That revelation is both funny and oddly equalizing. The distance between Boogtussle and Beverly Hills shrinks once more, this time through the shared language of physical conflict. Irene Ryan's silent attention during the broadcast is a masterclass in listening. She does not yet know that she will soon be climbing into the ring herself. For these few minutes she is simply a woman watching another woman be brutalized, and the longer she watches, the more the familiar fire begins to build behind her eyes. The porch fight with Mrs. Drysdale was personal. What is happening on the television screen feels larger, an injustice being performed for entertainment. The distinction will matter soon enough. I return to this sequence whenever I need to be reminded that comedy can track the exact moment when private values collide with public spectacle. The cabin on the porch, the outraged neighbor, the rolling fight on the lawn, the shamefaced lecture, the cheerful correction from Jethro, the settling in front of the television, each beat is necessary. Together they form a perfect comic syllogism. If Granny's violence is unacceptable in the driveway, why is the Boston Strong Girl's violence acceptable in the living room? The series does not answer the question with a sermon. It simply lets the family ask it with their eyes, and then it turns up the volume on the broadcast so that we can all hear the question together. By the time the first round begins on screen, the porch brawl has already done its deeper work. It has reminded everyone, characters and audience alike, that the Clampetts have never been as far from the city's appetites as the city likes to pretend. They have only been more honest about them. The television wrestling match will take that honesty and raise it to a level of public chaos no one in the mansion could have predicted. But the road to the ring begins here with two women on a lawn. A broken sense of neighborhood propriety and a family discovering that the violence they thought belonged only to them has already been packaged, promoted, and scheduled for prime time. I have never been able to watch the television wrestling sequence in this episode without feeling a familiar tightening in my chest. The same tightening I felt the first time I saw an old woman decide that the distance between a living room screen and a wrestling ring was not large enough to prevent her from correcting an injustice. The match between the Boston Strong Girl and Rebecca of Donnybrook Farm is presented as pure spectacle, complete with a ringside announcer manufactured drama, and the full arsenal of professional wrestling storytelling, yet for Granny Moses it becomes something far more serious. It becomes a moral emergency that can only be answered with her own body. The broadcast begins with the kind of florid introduction that still makes me smile at its shameless theatricality. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, this is Bill Baldwin speaking to you from ringside of the beautiful International Wrestling Arena. For tonight, the backbreaker from Back Bay, the Boston Strong Girl, will meet the sweetheart of the Smokies, Rebecca of Donnybrook Farm. The names alone are a comic cosmos. In 2 phrases, the series conjures an entire mythology of regional combat, the cruel urban enforcer against the virtuous mountain girl. I have always loved how quickly the Clamperts accept the mythology at face value. They do not see choreography or script, they see a story that maps perfectly onto the stories they already know. Rebecca's pre-match interview is a masterpiece of condensed melodrama. When the announcer asks why a sweet little girl is in the wrestling business, her answer arrives with the polished sincerity of 1,000 barn dance ballads. Well, it's the only way I can pay off the mortgage on Donnybrook Farm. My mom is sick and my daddy's crippled, and I just gotta save the home place from that mean old banker. The speech is pure corn and the series knows it. What makes the moment land so powerfully is that the Clamperts do not know it. To them the mortgage is real, the sick mother is real, the crippled father is real, and the mean banker is the most believable detail of all. I still feel a small shock of recognition when Jed mutters that he has never heard of a mean banker. The line is played for irony, yet it also reveals how thoroughly the family has internalized their own experiences with Mr. Drysdale. Even their skepticism is shaped by affection. The Boston Strong Girl enters to boos and catcalls, and the camera, both the television camera inside the story and the series camera watching the Clamperts watch, lingers on Granny's face. Irene Ryan does not need dialogue here. The slow hardening of her expression is enough. She has spent the earlier part of the evening being told that women do not settle differences with their fists. Now she is watching a woman do exactly that, and doing it with a casual cruelty that violates every code of fairness Granny has ever lived by. When the strong girl begins to dominate Rebecca, choking her with her own braids, grinding her face into the mat, stealing the coin purse that contains the mortgage money, the living room becomes a pressure cooker. Jethro's running commentary only raises the temperature. He is an expert on wrestling holds, or so he claims, and he narrates each indignity with the cheerful precision of a sportscaster who has never himself been body slammed. She's choking, Rebecca. Pull your tongue in, honey, before she ties that around the rope. The line is ridiculous and perfect. Max Baer Jr. plays the expertise with such sincerity that the gap between his knowledge and the actual violence on screen becomes its own source of comedy. Yet even Jethro begins to sober as the beating continues. The family that began the broadcast as entertained spectators is slowly transformed into a circle of witnesses. What moves me most is the exact moment Granny reaches her limit. She does not announce a decision, she simply stands up and declares that she cannot stand to watch any more violence. The stated reason is almost demure: I can't stand violent women, yet anyone who has lived with Irene Ryan's performance through 6 seasons knows that the demurral is a warning. When Granny leaves a room because something has offended her sense of justice, the something in question should prepare itself for company. She takes Jethro with her ostensibly to settle for the night in the cabin, and the living room is left with Jed and Ellie Mae still staring at the screen. The cut to the arena is one of the series' great comic pivots. We have been watching the match through the Clamperts' eyes. Suddenly we are inside the match itself, and the announcer is describing a turn of events no one in the building could have predicted. Wait a minute, here she comes. No, it's not Rebecca. Could it be her mother? It's Granny. It's Granny. The repetition of her name is both announcement and astonishment. Irene Ryan does not enter the ring like a professional. She enters it like a woman who has walked several miles through city traffic because a television set told her that a girl from the Smokies was being mistreated. The distance between Bugtussle values and Beverly Hills entertainment has just been closed by an elderly woman's willingness to treat a broadcast as a personal summons. The fight that follows is pure physical poetry. Granny does not use the choreographed moves of the professionals. She uses the practical violence of someone who has spent a lifetime handling livestock, delivering babies, and occasionally settling disputes with a cast iron skillet. When she applies the Possum Ridge Paralyzer and follows it with the Bugtussle Bounce, the names themselves are a declaration of origin. This is not television wrestling. This is mountain justice wearing a bathrobe and army shoes. The Boston strong girl who has spent the evening destroying a scripted opponent suddenly finds herself facing an opponent who has not read the script and does not care about the next payday. I am always struck by how the series stages the crowd's reaction. The same audience that booed the strong girl and sentimentalized Rebecca now erupts for Granny. The transfer of allegiance is instantaneous and absolute. In the logic of the arena, authenticity is the only currency that matters, and Granny has just spent a lifetime's accumulation of it in a single burst of outrage. The fact that she is real, genuinely old, genuinely furious, genuinely unconcerned with the entertainment value of her violence makes every professional in the building look like a counterfeit. Back at the mansion, Jed and Ellie Mae are still watching. Their realization that the small figure throwing the Boston strong girl out of the ring is their own Granny is played with the perfect mixture of horror and pride. Donna Douglas's Ellie Mae cannot suppress her delight. Buddy Ebsen's Jed looks like a man who has just watched his carefully maintained policy of non-confrontation explode in front of a national audience. The tension between those two reactions, delight and dismay, is the emotional engine of the scene. The family that has spent years trying to adapt to city ways has just been reminded that some adaptations are temporary and some instincts are permanent. The deeper resonance of the sequence has only grown for me over time. In an era when so much entertainment asks us to remain spectators, Granny refuses the role. She does not write a letter to the network. She does not call the authorities. She simply removes the barrier between watching and doing. The decision is impulsive, impractical, and almost certainly illegal. It is also the most coherent moral act the character performs in the entire episode. If a girl from the Smokies is being beaten for the amusement of strangers, then a woman from the hills will answer the beating with her own hands. The syllogism is primitive and unbreakable. I return to these minutes whenever I need to be reminded that comedy can still make room for genuine moral fury. The mortgage melodrama is fake. The sick mother and crippled father are inventions. The mean banker is a plot device. None of that matters to Granny, and the series is wise enough not to punish her for the mistake. What matters is the willingness to treat another person's pain as urgent even when the pain is being performed under lights for money. In that willingness I still hear the central heartbeat of the character, the conviction that the world is not a show one watches but a place one is responsible for. By the time the Boston strong girl lands in the 6th row of seats, the television match has become something no one in the arena intended. It has become a demonstration of the exact distance between performance and reality, and of how quickly that distance can be closed by someone who has never learned to respect it. Granny Moses came to Beverly Hills with a lifetime of practical violence stored in her wrists and shoulders. The Boston strong girl simply gave her a reason to spend some of it in public. The expenditure is chaotic, disproportionate, and completely true to the woman who makes it. I have never stopped loving her for it. I have always believed that the most revealing moments in the Beverly Hillbillies occur not when the family is trying to understand the city but when the city is forced to understand them. The morning after Granny throws the Boston strong girl into the 6th row of seats is one of those moments, and it remains for me one of the purest distillations of the series' comic philosophy. Fame arrives at the Clampett mansion the way most things arrive there, uninvited, misunderstood, and immediately subjected to the family's particular brand of practical scrutiny. The first images are domestic and perfect. A cake has appeared iced with the words "Grappling Granny." A loving cup is presented. Someone has even attached a championship sign to Granny's good bathrobe. The family is in a state of celebratory pride that feels completely earned. Ellie Mae cannot stop smiling. Jethro is ready to offer expert analysis of the exact holds that produced the victory. Jed looks like a man who has aged several years overnight but is nevertheless prepared to stand by the result. And in the center of it all stands Irene Ryan, radiating a mixture of residual fury and profound embarrassment that still makes me laugh with recognition. "I don't want no loving cup and no crown neither," she declares, "and you take that sign off of my good bathrobe. I ain't no lady wrestler." The line is delivered with the full force of a woman who has just discovered that her private moral intervention has been converted into public entertainment. What touches me most is the precision of her objection. She does not deny that she won. She does not claim the Boston Strong Girl was not beaten fairly. She simply refuses the identity that the victory has attempted to fasten onto her. "I only done that 'cause she was beaten up on that poor little Tennessee girl. I don't make no never mind. I'm a peace-loving woman and I don't want to be tired with the brush of violence." The speech is pure granny principled, slightly contradictory, and utterly sincere. Irene Ryan plays the refusal of celebrity with the same intensity she brought to the fight itself. There is no false modesty here. This is a woman who has lived her entire life according to a code that does not include applause. The idea that strangers are now cheering for the same hands that once delivered babies and set bones strikes her as a category error of the most fundamental kind. I have known people who felt the same way about any public recognition of their private strengths, and watching Granny articulate that discomfort still feels like being given language for something I had only felt. Jethro, of course, is having none of it. Max Baer Jr. plays the role of the proud nephew with a physical exuberance that borders on the religious. "You throwed the Boston Strong Girl plumb out of the ring," he reminds her, and then with the authority of an eyewitness he recreates the decisive sequence: "I put the Possum Ridge paralyzer on her, and then I give her the bug tussle bounce." The fact that he is quoting Granny's own description of her moves only deepens the comedy. The holds have already entered family legend. They have names. They have regional specificity. They are in Jethro's mind the beginning of a dynasty. His insistence that Ellie Mae is now the granddaughter of the world's champion wrestler is both ridiculous and oddly moving. In the Clampett worldview, excellence of any kind, whether in cooking, animal husbandry, or throwing professional athletes into the seats, belongs to the whole family. The arrival of the promoter Mr. Gene Booth shifts the tone from domestic celebration to commercial possibility. The television station has been flooded with calls. The public wants a rematch. The names being thrown around: Tennessee Terror battling Granny, have the tinny ring of instant mythology. Booth is prepared to offer money publicity a return to the ring. He evaluates Granny the way a scout evaluates livestock: the old army shoes, the practical clothes, the obvious capacity for violence. "For $20 she'll kill you," he tells his associate, and the line is both a compliment and a reduction. Granny has become a commodity before she has even finished refusing the title. What moves me most in these scenes is the way the series allows Granny's moral clarity to remain intact even as the machinery of fame begins to turn around her. She did not enter the ring for money or glory. She entered it because a girl from the Smokies was being hurt and no one else was going to stop it. The fact that the girl was a paid performer and the hurt was choreographed is irrelevant to the original impulse. The series never punishes Granny for the misunderstanding. Instead, it watches with a kind of awe as the pure product of that impulse, the Possum Ridge paralyzer, the bug tussle bounce, proves more compelling to the public than any amount of professional technique. I am always struck by the physical comedy of Granny's attempts to return to ordinary life. She wants the sign removed from her bathrobe. She wants the loving cup taken away. She wants the conversation to end. Each refusal only increases the family's pride and the promoter's interest. The harder she tries to step out of the spotlight, the more brightly the spotlight finds her. There is a deep, almost philosophical humor in that dynamic. In a culture that treats the desire for fame as the most natural of human appetites, Granny's complete lack of interest registers as a form of power. She cannot be bought because she does not recognize the currency. The cultural context of the mid-1960s sharpens the joke. Professional wrestling was already a hybrid of sport and theater, and the idea of an authentic amateur stepping into that hybrid and dominating it spoke to a widespread hunger for something unscripted. Granny's victory is the ultimate unscripted moment. She did not train. She did not rehearse. She simply arrived with a lifetime of practical strength and an intolerance for bullying. The public's hunger for a rematch is the public's hunger for a second chance to witness that authenticity. The series understands the hunger without endorsing it. It lets Booth speak the language of promotion while letting Granny continue to speak the language of home. Jed's quiet presence throughout these scenes is as always the emotional ballast. Buddy Ebsen plays a man who is simultaneously proud of his mother-in-law's strength and exhausted by the complications it continues to produce. He does not try to talk her into the rematch. He does not try to talk her out of it. He simply remains nearby the steady center around which the chaos of celebrity and refusal continues to swirl. That steadiness is its own form of love, and I never fail to feel grateful for it. By the time the promoter leaves to arrange the next steps, the mansion has been permanently altered. The cake has been cut. The story has been told and retold. The holds have been named and demonstrated. Granny Moses, who only wanted to stop a beating, has become Grappling Granny whether she consents to the title or not. The transformation is irreversible in the way that all public transformations are irreversible. Once the world has seen you do a thing, the world reserves the right to ask for the thing again. I return to these minutes whenever I need to be reminded that the most interesting kind of fame is the kind that arrives as a misunderstanding. Granny never sought the loving cup, she sought justice for a stranger who turned out to be a performer. The gap between intention and consequence is the space in which the comedy lives, and it is also the space in which something like integrity continues to breathe. She will be asked to fight again. She will be offered money, and lights, and the roar of a crowd. And somewhere beneath all of that noise, the original impulse, the simple refusal to watch a girl from the hills be hurt, will remain intact, waiting for the next moment when the distance between a television screen and a real body becomes too small to tolerate. The Possum Ridge Paralyzer and the Bug Tussle Bounce have entered the record. Grappling Granny has been born. And Irene Ryan, with her perfect mixture of pride, irritation and residual moral fire, makes the entire accidental coronation feel like the most natural thing in the world. I have always felt that the tag team sequence is the moment when the Beverly Hillbillies stops merely observing the machinery of professional wrestling and instead hijacks it completely. What begins as a promoter's cynical attempt to force a rematch ends as a full-scale family declaration of mountain law inside a Beverly Hills arena. The transformation is so complete and so perfectly true to the characters that I still watch it with the same mixture of delight and disbelief I felt the first time the entire Clampett clan stepped between the ropes. The promoter, Mr. Gene Booth, returns with a plan that is pure show business calculation. He brings Rebecca of Donnybrook Farm still in costume to the mansion along with two performers cast as her sick mother and crippled father. The goal is simple: appeal to Granny's protective instincts until she agrees to fight again. The performance they offer is shameless. The mother coughs on cue. The father leans heavily on a cane and speaks of pride and honor. Rebecca reminds Granny of the mortgage, the mean banker, the need to save the home place. I never fail to smile at the precision with which the con is tailored. Booth has studied his mark. He knows that Granny's violence is not random, it is activated by the sight of the vulnerable being mistreated. If he can manufacture the appearance of vulnerability, he can manufacture another pay-per-view. What touches me most is how completely the Clampetts accept the performance at face value. Jed writes a check for $20,000 on the spot, sweetening the amount to help with the sick mother and crippled father. The generosity is instinctive and absolute. There is no negotiation, no request for proof, no pause to consider whether the story might be invented. In the Clampett moral universe, a person who says they are in trouble is in trouble, and the only decent response is to reach for the checkbook. Buddy Ebsen plays the moment with the quiet authority of a man who has never needed more evidence than another human being's word. The fact that the check will later be used as leverage only deepens the comedy. The family's virtue becomes the exact instrument of their entanglement. The discovery that the check has been declared bad, Drysdale, in a fit of protective panic, has stopped payment, turns the screw. Booth now has the leverage he needs. Either Granny returns to the ring or Jed faces legal consequences. The ultimatum is delivered with the smooth confidence of a man who believes he has finally cornered mountain stubbornness with city paperwork. He has miscalculated. The Clamperts do not respond to paperwork, they respond to insult. The arrival of the Boston Strong girl's father, played with lumbering menace, supplies the final provocation. He storms into the mansion looking for those sniveling cowards from Tennessee. The language is deliberate and perfectly chosen. There is no faster way to start a war with Granny Moses than to question the courage of her people. Irene Ryan's response is instantaneous and volcanic. There ain't no such thing as a sniveling coward from Tennessee. The line is not a retort, it is a declaration of identity. When the strong girl's father lays a hand on her, the abstract threat of a lawsuit becomes irrelevant. The matter has moved from commerce to honor, and honor is a language the Clamperts speak more fluently than anyone in Beverly Hills. I am always moved by the speed with which the entire family enlists. Ellie Mae, who has spent the episode as a mostly gentle presence, is suddenly ready to fight. Jethro is already calculating holds. Jed tries one last time to keep the conflict from becoming physical and fails in the most characteristic way possible. He is overruled by the collective sense that the family has been provoked. The decision to settle the matter in the arena rather than the living room is pure practical wisdom. If there is going to be a family fight, it might as well be in a place that already has a referee and a paying audience. The tag team match itself is the series' most exuberant celebration of collective strength. The announcer's introduction grappling Granny and the Clamperts versus the Boston Strong girl and her family still gives me a small thrill of anticipatory pleasure. The rules of professional tag team wrestling are explained and then immediately ignored. Only one wrestler is supposed to be in the ring at a time. The Clamperts have never been good at waiting their turn. When the Boston side attempts to overwhelm Granny with numbers, the response is not strategic tagging but simple arithmetic. 3 against 1 is unfair, therefore the unfairness will be corrected by any means available. Irene Ryan's performance in the ring is a masterclass in controlled chaos. She does not become a different person under the lights. She remains exactly the woman who has been ordering the Clampert household for 6 seasons, only now the household has expanded to include an entire arena. When she seizes the strong girl's father by the ankles and swings him like a flail, the move is both ridiculous and somehow inevitable. This is a woman who has handled livestock more difficult than any professional wrestler. The application of that experience to human opponents produces a style of combat that no amount of training can prepare for. The crowd's reaction is the final comic validation. The same audience that once cheered the scripted suffering of Rebecca of Donnybrook Farm now loses its mind for the unscripted dominance of a genuine mountain family. Authenticity once again proves more entertaining than performance. The series does not need to underline the point, the roar of the crowd does the work. What stays with me longest is the way the episode allows the entire misadventure to be framed as an affair of honor rather than a commercial transaction. Booth wanted a rematch that would sell tickets. What he got was a clan war that sold tickets as a side effect. The distinction matters. The Clamperts did not enter the ring for money or fame, or even for Rebecca, whose troubles were never real. They entered the ring because someone questioned their courage and laid hands on their matriarch. Everything else, the fake parents, the stop-check, the promoters' schemes, was merely the complicated city road that led to a very simple mountain destination. I return to this sequence whenever I need to be reminded that the strongest comedy often grows from the refusal to let an insult pass. The tag team match is chaotic, disproportionate, and completely true to the people who wage it. Granny's Possum Ridge Paralyzer and Book Tussle Bounce are no longer solo techniques. They have become family property available to anyone who shares the name and the blood. Watching Ellie Mae and Jethro stand ready at the ropes, waiting for the moment they will be needed, still fills me with a particular kind of pride. This is what the series has always done at its best: take the values of home and test them under the brightest, most artificial lights the city can offer, and then watch those values not merely survive but dominate. The final image of Granny standing victorious while the Boston family lies scattered is more than a comic payoff. It is a restatement of the central thesis of the entire series. The Clamperts did not come to Beverly Hills to be changed by it. They came to live in it and occasionally to remind it that some forms of strength do not require training contracts or choreography. They require only the certainty that the people you love have been insulted, and the willingness to answer the insult with everything you have. The feud is settled. The arena is in uproar. And somewhere in the chaos, the original promoter is left holding a show that has grown far beyond his ability to control it. I have never stopped finding that outcome deeply satisfying. I have always believed that the true heart of the Beverly Hillbillies is not found in the bank or the arena, or the empty dining room of the Happy Gizzard, but in the stubborn, fiercely defended spaces where the family continues to live as if the oil money and the mansion were only temporary interruptions. Nowhere is that heart more visible than in the domestic threads that run quietly beneath the larger chaos of these episodes. Granny's kitchen, Ellie Mae's collection of confused animals, the recreated cabin on the porch, the rocking chair, and the harp and the pig. These are not background details. They are the living proof that the Clampetts have never surrendered the right to make a home on their own terms. What moves me most is the way Granny defends the kitchen as sacred territory. The moment Ellie Mae appears with a poorly marmot or a young bear that is 2 months behind in its hibernation, Irene Ryan's reaction is instantaneous and absolute. Ellie Mae, how many times do I have to tell you I don't like marmots in my kitchen? The line is comic on its surface, yet it carries the full weight of a woman who has spent a lifetime keeping order in spaces that the world continually tries to invade. The kitchen is not merely a room where food is prepared. It is the last unconquered corner of Bugtussle, the place where the old rules still apply and where the new California chaos is required to wipe its feet before entering. I have known kitchens like that, rooms that function as both workshop and sanctuary, and watching Granny police the boundaries of hers still feels like watching someone protect a necessary piece of the self. Ellie Mae's animals are the perfect counterpoint to that territorial fierceness. Donna Douglas plays the girl's compassion without a trace of sentimentality. The little bear is not a prop. It is a creature genuinely confused by a climate that refuses to turn cold. Bears are supposed to curl up and snooze all winter, but in this crazy California it's summer all winter. Poor little mixed-up fella. The observation is gentle and exact. Ellie Mae does not try to force the animal to adapt. She simply recognizes the mismatch and responds with care. In that recognition I see one of the series' quietest themes. The Clampetts are not the only beings who have been displaced by the move to Beverly Hills. The animals they bring with them or that find them carry the same disorientation. The household becomes a sanctuary not only for people but for any living thing that has not yet learned how to survive the absence of seasons. The decision to rebuild a piece of the old cabin on the mansion grounds is for me one of the most touching gestures in the entire composite story. The family does not lecture Granny about her midwinter restlessness. They do not try to reason her out of her longing for snow. They simply construct a physical answer to the longing: a rocking chair, a harp, a pig, the suggestion of the old porch. The act is practical and profound at once. It says, if we cannot take you back to the hills, we will bring a fragment of the hills to you. Jed's understated pride in the project, Jethro's willingness to haul furniture, Ellie Mae's quiet satisfaction, all of it speaks to a form of love that prefers action to advice. I still feel a lump in my throat when Granny discovers the recreation and immediately assumes the worst, that they are trying to move her out of the main house, that she has become an inconvenience to be managed. The misunderstanding is pure Granny pride and vulnerability locked in the same breath, yet the family's response is equally pure. They do not defend themselves with logic, they simply keep offering the gift until she is able to receive it. The harp and the rocking chair become instruments of emotional regulation in a way that feels deeply true to the character. Jed observes that sitting and rocking and playing and singing generally cheers her up, and the observation is offered without condescension. Music is not therapy in the modern sense, it is simply one of the old tools that still work. When Granny finally settles into the chair with the harp, the household exhales. The midwinter feisties have not been cured, but they have been given a place to exist without destroying everything around them. That distinction between curing and accommodating strikes me as one of the series' most mature insights. Some forms of longing cannot be argued away, they can only be given room. I am always struck by how the domestic spaces absorb the larger chaos of the episodes without losing their essential character. The fake blizzard turns the mansion into a temporary Arctic station, yet the kitchen continues to function as the place where leftover possum stew is reheated, and where Jethro's sleep eating is discovered and forgiven. The wrestling fame brings promoters and cake and championship signs. Yet Granny still returns to the stove and the familiar arguments about what does and does not belong near the food. The restaurant venture fills the family with temporary entrepreneurial fever, yet the true meals continue to happen at the home table where the food does not need a French name to be considered complete. The household is not insulated from the world. It is simply stronger than the world that keeps trying to redefine it. The cultural resonance of these domestic details has only grown for me over time. In the mid-1960s, the American home was being sold an endless array of modern improvements, electric appliances, open floor plans, the promise of effortless living. The Clampett household quietly refuses the entire catalogue. Their kitchen remains a place of labor and vigilance. Their animals remain subject to the old seasonal logic even when the climate itself has abandoned it. Their idea of comfort still includes a pig on the porch and a harp that can soothe a savage mood. The refusal is not reactionary. It is conservative in the deepest sense, an attempt to conserve the conditions under which the people in the house can continue to recognize themselves. Buddy Ebsen's Jed is the quiet guardian of this domestic order. He rarely issues commands about the household, yet his presence makes the continuity possible. When he supports the building of the cabin, when he tolerates the animals, when he accepts that Granny's kitchen has rules that supersede the convenience of everyone else, he is performing a form of leadership that the series never names, but always demonstrates. The home remains a home because someone is willing to let it be slightly inconvenient, slightly outdated, and completely itself. Nancy Culp's Miss Jane, in her brief appearances inside these domestic spaces, functions as a kind of respectful outsider. She understands that she is a guest in a territory that has its own laws. Her willingness to participate in the fake blizzard is in part a willingness to defend the household's right to remain intact even when the defense requires deception. The complexity of that position, loyalty to Drysdale warring with genuine care for the family, gives the domestic scenes an additional layer of emotional texture. Even the banker's secretary has been partially claimed by the sanctuary she keeps helping to protect. I return to these quieter threads whenever the larger comic machinery of the episodes begins to feel too loud. The kitchen arguments, the confused bear, the reconstructed cabin, the harp in the evening, these are the places where the series remembers what it is ultimately about. Not the oil money, not the social collisions, not even the spectacular victories in the wrestling ring. It is about the daily, unspectacular work of keeping a household alive in a world that would prefer it to become something more modern, more efficient, and less itself. Granny's fierce protection of her stove, Ellie Mae's patient care for animals that do not understand the latitude, Jed's willingness to build a porch in the middle of Beverly Hills, all of it adds up to a single ongoing declaration: we are still here and we still know how to live. The sanctuary is never perfect. The marmot still finds its way onto the kitchen floor. The midwinter feisties still arrive on schedule. The outside world still knocks on the door with promoters and plastic snow and invitations to transform. Yet the household continues to answer those knocks in its own language, and the language remains stubbornly, gloriously unchanged. In that continuity, I still find the deepest comfort the series has to offer. Home is not a place that survives by keeping the world out. It is a place that survives by remembering every single day what it was built to protect. I have spent the better part of a lifetime returning to these episodes, and every return ends in the same quiet recognition: the chaos was never the point. The empty tables of the happy gizzard, the hatless waitresses, the soup-soaked mustache of Chef Pierre, the plastic snow and stuffed wolves. The Boston Strong girl flying into the 6th row, all of it was only the weather. Beneath the weather there has always been a steadier climate, a set of values so consistent and so deeply held that no amount of Beverly Hills sunlight or Hollywood invention can quite bleach them away. When I try to name what still feels like home in these stories, I find myself returning to that climate again and again. The Clampetts do not come to the city to be improved by it. They come carrying an entire working philosophy of how people ought to treat one another, and the comedy arises from the city's repeated failure to make that philosophy look foolish. Jethro's restaurant fails by every commercial measure, yet the failure never becomes a verdict on the family's worth. They cook for one another when the customers do not arrive. They invent new definitions when the old ones do not serve. They translate topless into the absence of hats, and then proceed to live inside the translation without shame. The city may know that the translation is wrong, but the city cannot make the family feel small for having made it. That refusal to feel small is the first enduring value I keep coming back for. Granny's longing for snow is the second. In an era that already preferred the engineered climate of Southern California to the inconvenient realities of actual seasons, her homesickness registers as a form of loyalty. She will not pretend that sunshine is sufficient simply because the real estate is expensive. She remembers the weight of frozen laundry, the taste of snow, ice cream, the particular silence that falls after a heavy fall of real snow. And she refuses to trade those memories for the approval of people who have never needed them. The fake blizzard that Drysdale stages is ridiculous, expensive, and ultimately transparent, yet it is also a backhanded tribute to the power of her refusal. Even a banker who measures life in deposits is forced to admit that some forms of unhappiness cannot be cured by sunshine and a large account balance. I still find that admission moving. The wrestling arc is the third and most exuberant statement of the same theme. Professional wrestling in the mid-1960s was already a negotiated compromise between sport and theater, between authentic violence and carefully managed spectacle. Granny walks into that compromise and simply ignores the negotiation. She does not wrestle for the mortgage, or the crowd, or the championship belt. She wrestles because a girl who claimed to be from the Smokies was being hurt and no one else was going to stop it. The fact that the girl was a performer and the hurt was choreographed does not diminish the original impulse. It only clarifies how thoroughly the city has trained itself to watch suffering without intervening. When Granny intervenes anyway, the entire apparatus of the arena is forced to recalibrate around her. The Possum Ridge Paralyzer and the Bug Tussle Bounce are not techniques. They are the physical expression of a moral position. Some things will not be tolerated even when they are being sold as entertainment. I am always struck by how consistently the series allows the family's values to win without requiring the city to be destroyed. Drysdale is never ruined. Mrs. Drysdale is never permanently exiled. The promoters continue to promote. The sun continues to shine on Beverly Hills. The Clamperts simply continue to live as themselves inside that sunshine, and the sunshine is forced to make room. That coexistence feels even now like a more hopeful vision than most contemporary comedy is willing to risk. The rural heart does not need to conquer Hollywood. It only needs to remain intact while Hollywood performs its endless variations of folly around it. The domestic details are what finally convince me that the victory is real. The kitchen that will not accept marmots, the bear that is still waiting for a proper winter, the cabin rebuilt on the porch with its rocking chair and harp and pig, these are not nostalgic decorations. They are active declarations that the conditions of home can be recreated even when the original geography has been left behind. The family does not wait for the city to become more like Bug Tussle. They simply keep building small stubborn pieces of Bug Tussle inside the city and then live inside those pieces with complete seriousness. I have tried in my own life to keep similar pieces intact: habits of speech, ways of cooking, standards of loyalty that do not translate cleanly into the places I have moved. Watching the Clamperts do it with such comic confidence still feels like being given permission to continue. What touches me most after all these years is the absence of bitterness. The series could have turned the family's repeated collisions with city life into a long grievance. Instead, it turns them into a long affectionate argument that the city is never quite able to win. Jethro's entrepreneurial fever, Granny's volcanic defense of the vulnerable, Jed's quiet refusal to abandon anyone, Ellie Mae's steady compassion for any creature that has lost its proper season. These qualities do not become outdated. They become, if anything, more necessary as the world grows louder and more willing to treat human beings as content. The Clamperts keep answering that treatment with the same unfashionable insistence: people are not content. People are the ones who sit down at the table even when the restaurant is empty, who manufacture winter when the real winter is missing, who climb into the ring when the girl on the screen is being hurt. I return to these episodes the way other people return to old letters or to the houses they grew up in. The jokes are still funny. The physical comedy still lands with the same happy shock. But the deeper reason is simpler and more lasting. For a little while, the television set becomes a porch again, and on that porch a family continues to practice a way of being human that the surrounding culture has never quite managed to make obsolete. The plastic snow melts. The championship sign is taken off the bathrobe. The French moustache is thrown away. What remains is the sound of a harp in the evening, the smell of something honest cooking on the stove, and the unshakable certainty that if a stranger is in trouble, the correct response is still to get up and go. That certainty is why these episodes still feel like home. Not because they recreate a vanished rural world with documentary accuracy, but because they keep faith with a set of instincts that remain against all evidence available to us. The rural heart does not need the original geography in order to keep beating. It only needs people willing to live as if kindness, loyalty, and the refusal to watch harm without answering it are still reasonable ways to move through a day. The Clamperts never stopped living that way. The city never quite recovered from the discovery, and I, after all these years of watching, have never stopped being grateful for the lesson.